Hi, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. How are we all today? Hi, happy Tuesday. Excited today. I get to play the game that I almost played before I was supposed to last week. Hi, Merlin. Hi. Hello, how you doing? Also, hi to Lena. Hello. Don't trust Mrs. Gigi Berry. Remember, she's killed our very beloved Bruce Momo in a jealous frenzy. No one has seen Momo since. I mean, it's true. Also, hi, Tessa. How you doing? Hey, Bailey. Hi. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay, I hope you all had a good weekend. How was everyone's weekend? I was at work as I normally am on a weekend, so same old from me, I think. But yeah, how are you all getting on? Oh, isn't it it's the last day of January today, isn't it? Next month is a special month. It is. You said the weekend is over, right? Yeah. But then that means it's the week, and then you get to see me in the week, though, Lena. Then you get to see me in the week, so that's fun. Also, Huel, you know the drill. The Huel thing is there. The link is in the chat. If you want to help a girl out, absolutely free. You know what to do. SpongeBob Squarepants. Yeah. You're down in the last few hours of January. Oh yeah, because you're like ahead of us, aren't you? You and Tyza, yeah. Your kids are to school this week? Oh, that's exciting. Oh, how are you coping? I know that when your kids go to school, it can feel, even if they've been to school before, even if it's not their first day at school, even if like they've just been off for the holidays and then they go back, it can take a little bit of getting used to, like the house being empty again. So yeah, how are you coping? So yeah, February is an important month for us on stream, particularly Valentine's Day, the 14th of Feb, because the 14th of February is Valentine's Day, obviously. It's my guinea pig's birthday. He will be 2. And also, it's my stream anniversary date. Hey! 4 years. 4 years have been streaming as of on Valentine's Day this year, so we want to do something fun, and Valentine's Day is on a Tuesday this year as well, so we'll be streaming so we can have a little bit of a party. Not a massive one though, because the kids are still at school that day, so I can't take the day off and do a long stream. You still have your toddler at home and she's a tornado. Yeah, at least you've got like less children, fewer children to have to deal with, which is a big help. A big help. I remember when my little one, my youngest was very small, and then my eldest was in nursery and stuff. Well, not nursery, but he was in like reception year 1, and it would be so nice and quiet when he went off to school, because then I had like little baby to myself. But then they're not, are they? They're not quiet. You think it's going to be nice and quiet and chill, but it's not. I've got an itchy ear. Ow. Oh yeah, I have a parcel potentially coming today. Potentially. It's with Every. Please pray for me. They say that they have it at their hub and they are dealing with it, I assume. It doesn't say it's out for delivery yet, but they have it, which scares me. It scares me so much. Why every time you get like a tracking delivery from somewhere that you have something from and you realize that it's being sent through Every, like, oh god. No, why? Of all of the courier companies that you could have used, why that one? And also, like, I know that Royal Mail have been striking and stuff over Christmas, but I'd rather it go through Royal Mail than go through Every. Please. Hey Deb, hi. Get your coffees in. Oh, this will be the last day of the green tea matcha lattes as well. So yeah, get your last of your green teas. I mean, I might rotate them in a little bit, but like, I had them in for all of January. We'll change it as of Thursday. Something a little bit more suited to February, I guess. I might come up with something, or I might just put one of the older ones in. We shall see. I had a quick look at this game that we're going to play. Just a very, very quick one. I opened it up and saw what it was like. I think you can play it on controller. So I'll give it a go and we'll see. The bot hasn't announced that I'm live. Yeah, it's been not sending a message out until like 10:39 sometimes. If you go back and check it, Go back and have a look in the bot log, and you can see. Hold on. Yeah, we've got 10:32, 10:39, 10:33, 10:33, 10:33. It's like, ugh. You're gonna wait. Yeah, give it. Oh, is this the one now? Yeah, it's just gone. It's just gone. It's just gone. There you go. Yeah, it's been a little bit lazy, but there you go. There it is. Something romantic. You're gonna be off for the next 2 weeks in California. Will you be back for Valentine's Day, or will you be in America whilst my 4-year stream anniversary is happening, Lena? Because that is unacceptable. How very dare you? How very dare you have a holiday? Hey, Pink. Hey. You'll be in San Diego. Big. Hey, Kelly. Hi, Simon. How are we all doing? Welcome on in, everybody. Also, Nautical was collecting stuff, but I think maybe lurking. Oh, it's not a holiday, it's a work confidence. I can read. Conference. You're looking forward to it at all? Do you get any downtime, though? Like, after work, and you go and explore San Diego? Because I've heard it's nice. You might have been binging my YouTube. Yes. Thank you, Pink. Thank you. Your work confidence, yeah. You're playing Stardew since 8:30 this morning. I love it, Kelly. I love it. So we're not starting out with Stardew today. We're going to be playing the new SpongeBob Squarepants Cosmic Shake game that came out. I think it came out yesterday? Did it come out today? When did it come out officially? It's I know the embargo for content on it was 4 p.m. yesterday, so I don't know if it came out yesterday, if it's coming out today. We'll be playing that at least at the start of stream. We'll see how far we get with it. If we enjoy it, we may well play it for the entire stream. If we want to switch over halfway through, then we're going to go and play some more Stardew. But, you know, it's so addictive. It is addictive. I'm going to see your BFF too, which is nice. Hey! Oh, you've been to San Diego many times, though, so you'd rather stay home. Yeah, I suppose that. If it's like somewhere you've been before, you've already done all the touristy attractions and stuff, so there's nothing new for you to see. At least you know all the good places to eat, I suppose. You're going to lurk for this game. You're not a fan of SpongeBob. That's fine. I've never played any of the SpongeBob games before. I think it's fun. It looks fun. I appreciate the lurks. I really do. I think it's nice that I get the opportunities to be able to play some of these different kinds of games as well, rather than being stuck in a kind of content rut and get burned out on it and stuff. And the last thing I want is to get burned out on Stardew Valley, because I love that game with my whole entire ass, and I don't want to get burned out on it. So taking a little break from it now and then is nice. Also, can we just quickly address The Sims for a moment? Happy last day of January. Hey, yeah, I know. Part of it feels like it's gone really fast. Part of me feels like it's the 82nd of January today. You do? Yay! Thank you, Lena. Thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot. Back when I used to play The Sims, I would get scared every time I switched out to a game that wasn't The Sims, because I knew that everybody that was there for Sims would go, and it used to scare the shit out of me. That's why I did nothing but Sims in the run up to Partner, and I got burned out on it. And now how often do I play The Sims? You know, I love playing variety. I'm a variety gamer by nature, I guess is the word I'm trying to say. So that's who I want to be on stream as well. So what's going on here? What is this? What's going on? So yeah, can we address The Sims ever so quickly before we get into game, right? So I stopped following the Sims community back when Jovan was going through it quite publicly. But someone also shared their page on Twitter yesterday saying that they'd seen something from Turbo Driver. It was, yes, nothing is happening to you. You're just like, no, la 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 la. So Turbo Driver, who is the creator of the Wicked Whims mod, had said that there's going to be, or had alluded to the fact that there's going to be an update scheduled for an hour after the live stream is happening today. So the live stream in UK time, the live stream is happening at 5 p.m. and Turbo Driver said that there's an update scheduled for 6 p.m. So we had a bug fix update last week. So like, it feels a little too soon to have another bug fix update. You didn't know that? Again, it's like, it's rumor, but last time Turbo Driver said something about an update coming, it did. The Sims didn't say anything about a patch. Turbo Driver said there was a patch, and lo and behold, there was a patch. So we're kind of trusting the word of Turbo Driver at this point, right? But the speculation is I won't be able to host it. We can't. The hosting doesn't exist on Twitch anymore, does it? So I can't co-stream it. I won't be allowed to co-stream it. But I can't host anymore. I mean, I can try, but I don't know how I would do it anymore. I know it's stupid. It is. And it's happening at 6. Well, the thing is happening at 5, and like that's the time I'm like doing dishes and cooking dinner and stuff. So I'll be like watching it and all that kind of stuff. I'll be watching it and we can chat about it in Discord and stuff, but I won't be able to watch it. We can watch it in Discord. I mean, I could, but like I won't be able to do that. If anybody else wants to screen share it to Discord, if one of the mods wants to screen share it to Discord, absolutely do. But I won't be able to host it because I'll be busy. That is the worst time of day for stuff to happen for me. And I know that's the time of day everything happens because of California time. But yeah, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm always busy. You don't know what's worse, Twitch or Twitter. Yeah, the update will be at 6. The live stream is at 5 though. Twitch, you stuck there. I said it. Yeah. Apparently the Sims has been replying to people with horses on TikTok. Live streams were past 8 p.m. in the past. I don't know, did they? Did you see about that? Oh, saying howdy. That's interesting. I hadn't seen anything like that. But yeah, if you'd have asked me before yesterday what day I thought that the baby update was coming, the infants, I'd have put money on the fact that it would be next Tuesday, the 7th, because the live stream was today. I'd say that they were going to give us a little teaser at the end of the live stream, like they always do, with like a announced like due date kind of a thing. And then the Sims' birthday is the 4th of February, so the closest Tuesday, which is patch day, to the 4th is the 7th, right? That is, I would have put money on that. However, now saying that there's going to be potentially an update straight after the live stream, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't want to be the kind of person who fuels rumor and stuff, but I think we're getting him today. I honestly think we're getting him today. I would like that for Shiny and Gigi. I would like that to not be the case. Give you another week or two just to settle in. That would be nice, but I honestly think we're getting him today. And I would, hands up on Thursday, if they don't come out tonight when I'm streaming on Thursday, I'll be like, I was wrong. But I do think they're going to come today. Wish they were better about communicating with people about updates. Yes, please. That would be nice. It would be very nice. Having not opened the game since the high school EP, which you didn't like at all. Yes. You always thought the NGL was short for Nigel. It's not gonna lie. Nigel. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh goodness me. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Gigi Berry, formerly known as Bruce Momo, is doing a 100 baby speed run. A speeds run, right? So she's been trying to get 100 babies out before the update. Bloody Nigel. And what are you on? 21? Is it 21 babies moved out now, Momo? I think it's 21, wasn't it? And we were having so much fun doing maths. I know those things don't go in the same sentence usually for me, but we were working out minutes per baby. It was all going good. It was really fun. And now they're like, oh, maybe we're gonna get babies today. And also Shany's on like 332 or something like that. Like, yeah. Just baby update in the middle of baby challenge. I know that if you are in the same boat as Momo and you don't want to have the update today, if you think it's going to break your current game, first of all, back up your saves. I always tell people this and never actually do it myself. But back the heck out of your saves up. That doesn't make any sense. Hey, Joanna, how you doing? Good to see you. Back your saves up, please. It's coming today. We don't know for certain. I was just saying, Joanna, Turbo Driver has alluded, Turbo Driver being the creator of the Wicked Whims mod, has alluded to the fact that there's going to be an update today. And because of the live stream being today as well, we're kind of edging towards the fact that it could possibly be babies, or it could just be a hotfix. It could just be a hotfix. Who the fuck knows at this point? Who the fuck knows? I could be getting all excited about it, and it could just be hey. You know what it could be? You know what it could be? And I really hope it is. I hope it's not babies. I hope it's freaking Jewish representation. Give us some Jewish food in this game. I swear to God. Please, if that's what it is, it won't be. It won't be. It's The Sims. But, oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine? That would be so good. And then the live stream is them like addressing the whole fact that they haven't addressed the Sim Jews for nearly a year. It won't be, but it should be. Yeah. If you think something's going to break in your Sims game, where have you been? Yeah. Yeah. Finally, someone with a Jewish family. Yes! That would be so good. Sims always keeps us on our toes, I'm guessing. They do, they do. But yeah, back your Sim saves up. Take your mods out, potentially. Because if there's going to be an update, I'll get you some challah bread now. Yes, please. I baked some challah, and it's so nice. It's really sweet. But yeah. Back them up. If you don't want the update, you can turn off automatic updates, can't you? I don't know how to do that in the game. There's a setting, I guess. Momo knows how to do it because Momo's done it. Momo's turned it off. So if it is babies, it's in Origin. What? I'm guessing there's a setting for those people who've been moved over to EA desktop app. You also need to be in offline mode. Oh yeah, there we go. Ooh. Oh, 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 oh. Kelly, did you put an accidental full stop in or did you put a link in? You're not in trouble, it just thinks it was a link. Oh dear. Good times on Hey Ninja. Hello. Hello. Take your mods out. Yeah, you're gonna miss Dev. Dev had a good run. Yeah. Oh, you put a dot in the middle. Yeah. Sometimes if you press full stop rather than a space, it thinks it's a link and it's like, no links here, nefarious person. And then it times you out for a second. You're using the EA link, EA app. I don't know how to turn it off in the EA app. I did used to use the EA desktop app, but then I hated it so much I uninstalled it, deleted the whole thing from my computer and put Origin back on. Yeah. What were you trying to say, Kelly? What were you trying to say? You've been timed out. Oh, you know what? If I look on your card now, it'll be like mod actions, timeout. Yeah, you've had 6 timeouts. And I bet they were all accidental links. You haven't had any problems with it? Oh good, oh good. I heard that it's better than it was. I got it when it first was trying to move people over to it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all because in order to update my game, I had to then open up Origin. I couldn't figure out how to update it through the EA app. It was ugh. You were gonna say that you can turn off auto updates from Origin? Yes. You're an angel. I want to see. Hang on, Lena. How many? Oh yeah, you have. You have 0 timeouts, 0 bans, 0 mod comments as well. Oh, I'm gonna put a mod comment. Lena is a troll. You went over at first too, and your Sims 2 that Ultimate wasn't there. You miss Origin though. Oh, do ya? Well, there you go. How many timeouts do you have? 6. You have 6. I don't know why. It just says 6. Has Dev had any? Has Dev got any? No timeouts, no bans, no mod comments on Dev. Just 6 on Kelly. Kelly's like new to the community and already been timed out 6 times. How on earth? I don't know whether it counts deleting every message that when you do like one accidental link, if it counts every single message. I don't think it does. I think it's every single time. Yeah, Kelly's a troublemaker. God. Was it? Maybe it was Lisa. Lisa kicking you out for talking about BTS. Oh, dear me. Dear me. You don't think you had any? Let me click on your name and have a look. Tezza. Nope, you're clean. You're clean as well. You're always in trouble. Yeah, get in the basement. What? Get in that basement, you. I haven't got anything like that. Like, Lisa's got the basement. Who else has? Who is it? Who has the naughty step? Someone else has a naughty step. Is it Taz? You feel it's a rite of passage to be timed out? Have you, Ninja? Have you been timed out ever? You've had 2. Ninja's had 2. Tut tut. Tut tut tut. Ooh. So, yeah. If you don't want to get updated without being prepared for it, go into offline mode, turn automatic updates off, play offline until you feel comfortable to update it. Once we find out what the update's going to be, even, it, like, first of all, the update might not be babies. The update might just be a bugs fix. Second of all, it might not even be today. Turbo Driver could have got confused. I don't know. We're all going on the basis of hearsay and guesswork. Although saying that, like I said, last time Turbo Driver said there was going to be an update, there was. So Zeus looked at all his unbanned requests during stream the other day. I saw he was doing that. He saw it, I put it on Twitter. He someone was like, "Oh no, it was my brother." Like, that excuse hasn't been used to death. Honest to God. If you write a trolly message in chat and it gets deleted and you get banned, and you try and blame it on a younger sibling, know that that unban request is not gonna go through. Although he polled it, and like the majority of people were saying to unban that person. I was like, do you not know Twitch? Like, they genuinely sounded upset, but that is excuse as old as the hills. It wasn't me, it was Monty. Yeah. My cat learned how to type, because my cat is super smart, and typed some of her really offensive things in chat. Yeah, it was the cat on the keyboard, yeah. I mean, it's randomized, right? RNG. Surely a cat typing on the keyboard eventually is going to come up with some kind of slur. You know? God's sake. Like, I mean, Zeus has been streaming a heckin' long time. I'm sure he's seen that excuse multiple times. Yeah, Monty's upset still for not getting paid for Coral Island. Oh, Coral Island. Talking of Coral Island, did you see their dev update blog? A developer, not dev. You're one of his first. No, were you really? That's so cool, though. That is so cool. You were one of his first followers. Awesome. I was like, he was one of my first streamers that I followed, but I doubt I was his first followers. Oh my gosh. Monty's innocent eyes. I did something he does live with Lena. Exactly. Exactly. Oh yeah, so the Coral Island put their update blog up. Apparently they're going to be doing the next big content update in March, and it's going to contain like swimsuits and stuff, and they put some of the characters in their swimsuits, and my god, those characters in that game are already smoking hot. Put them in their swimsuits and now there's a puddle on the floor. Your time in Sandrock released this year? Yes, it does. It does indeed. Like the full version. I'm not. Do you know when in the year? I heard that it's coming out. They keep doing loads of stuff, don't they? You wonder when Coral Island will officially be released? I don't know. I don't know. James said his roommate was going to start streaming, so you followed. He didn't stream for months after that, but you followed before he actually started. That's so cool, though. Have you still got your Twitch sub with James, or did you move it over? Is Sandrock coming to Switch? I think it might be, you know. I can't say for definite. I haven't played Sandrock in so long. But I think it might be. I heard that they were testing the multiplayer out as well. You don't vibe with his content, but it is a cool fact. Yeah, it is. I used to... You got no James sub anymore, because weren't you like a 5-year sub to James at some point? I used to watch I used to watch Zeus every morning when he lived in Australia and he streamed in his evening, which was our morning. I used to watch him after Doc went offline, and then I'd watch Zeus, or I'd have like Zeus on if it was Doc's day off, like if he was taking a day off, even though Doc streamed every day back then. and he would do like speed runs in Zelda and stuff. But then I don't know, he moved to Texas and he streams in our evenings now, so I never get to hang out over there anymore. Prepping for maternity leave, you bought yourself a Cozy Grove and Hollow Knight. It's hard to resist playing now. Cozy Grove I haven't touched in a long time, and we did play Hollow Knight for Throwback Thursday, and I think it's because I opened up a save halfway through and forgot how to play it and stuff, but it frustrated me and I don't want to play Hollow Knight anymore. I don't want to play it anymore. You haven't touched Cozy Grove either. You were like 6 years on Twitch? I'm tempted to get a membership to James's YouTube channel, just so I can watch his behind the scenes videos, but I don't know. I can never catch them live because they go live in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night even. So I don't know. I know I always watch the VODs back, but if I was gonna join and be a member, then I think it'd be because I'd wanted to watch the live stuff. So I don't know. I might do it for maybe a month and catch up on the behind the scenes extra bonus videos, and then maybe not renew it. Also, there's going to be an ad in just under 2 minutes, so there'll be 3 minutes of ads as usual. 1.5 minutes run automatically, 1.5 minutes run manually. That does keep us ad free for an entire hour. And then once those ads are run, then we'll open up the game. Yes, James Turner. Yes. Formerly known as the Sim Supply. Yeah. Hey, has it been half an hour already? You've managed to get those head paths. Nice. That's flown by, that first half an hour. I've been chatting so much. Look, you all chatting to me. You like him? He's funny. I like the vibe he has with Doc. Like, James is quite serious. Like, he likes to do things a certain way, and then Doc's just bumbling about the place, and you're like, Your head pat is broken. You always have 30 seconds left when it's meant to be 0. Oh, that's weird. That's so weird. You do love James and Doc together, yeah. Like, sometimes it looks like James is getting frustrated with Doc for not doing things the way he wants to, and sometimes I feel like Doc gets frustrated with James for trying to be controlling, but they kind of like bounce off each other, and it's all banter. It's all part and parcel of it, and I love him. That's how I found Dr. Gluon in the first place. Actually, was through James. I used to watch James's YouTube videos, like his build tutorials and stuff, and then he did the bread shop with Doc, and then that's how I found Dr. Gluon. And then I didn't watch James because he never streams, and then then I found Doc, and then I've been following Doc for like 4 years now. I've got a 4-year sub with him now. 4 years I've been subscribed to Mr. Gluon. I think I found Doc in the December of 2018, and then I started streaming myself in February 2019, so not long after, because I was like, this is great. I could do this. I want to be able to do this. This looks fun. That you found Doc's YouTube channel, and I made a Twitch for him. Did you created your own Twitch account just so you could follow Doc? That's really cool. So you're recently found Doc then. If you've only found Doc through Doc's YouTube channel, that's only a couple of years old, right? That's more recent. just for that, not for anybody else, not for me or anything. You have 68 months. That's what? How many years is that? Hold on. I need to do some maths. Maths me here. 68 divided by 12. That's like 5.5 years. 5.6 years. So like, yeah. You want to get back into streaming but anxiety? I used to feel like I couldn't stream. Like, there's no way I'd be able to stream. How could I did it without a webcam when I first started, because like, there's no way I can put myself on the internet. There's no way. I'm so shy and introverted in real life. But I really enjoy streaming. I think it has helped a lot with my anxiety, and I feel like it's helped with my social like not ability to talk to people. You never did a continuous sub either, so you missed like a year. Oh really? You didn't watch Twitch or YouTube really because then you were in uni and there was no time because you finished a year early. No worries. You heard about that prior to Sparked, but didn't watch until everyone was in uproar about how nice of a guy he was and that he was done dirty. Oh, really? So you watched it and you were like, this man's horrible. But everyone's like, no, he's not. He's really nice. You needed to find out more. Yeah, the editing on Sparked made him look like he was really bad. He got a lot of hate for that, actually. Because they were like, you're being horrible to her and she's a black woman and you can't say things like that to her because like you're just being horrible. And he's not. He's not at all. And she knew that. Like, you think you found Doc through me? Hey, it was the monocle man. Does he still? I don't think he still does that anymore, does he? I used to save my points up specifically for a side cam monocle. Hello. Yeah. Sparked was a hot mess. He was. The best thing about Sparked was Simguru Ninja's mustache. There, I said it. My third favourite, Dave. It was adequate. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. So he was trying to be like the Simon Cowell. Hold on, I'm going to run the second lot of ads and then we'll hop into the game. He was trying to be... Oh my god, the best part of Sparked was sassing the people's gallery posts. Yes. So we used to hang out in Momo's stream and the specific rules were that you couldn't have the custom thumbnails, right? You couldn't have the custom thumbnails and they had to be like the thing that they were asking for. And people were just using custom thumbnails. They were uploading any random shit with the hashtag Sparked in it in the comments. They were like, this is not what they're asking for, is it? This is not it. They're asking for like, I don't know, what was the things they were asking for, like a mythological creature or something, you know, or something like that. And people were putting like, hey, this is a pregnant teen, hashtag Sparked, with a custom thumbnail, like dear me, learn to read the rules, please, please. Oh, I thought I heard my door go then. I don't think it is though. I don't think it is. I'm excited. I'm waiting for this this parcel to arrive. But oh, I got a DM. Did anybody see my tweet about the universal credit situation? I wasn't like trying to cause up a stir. I was just commenting on my situation, how because the cutoff dates for the universal credit for the month, and because my husband's paydays, because January is a long month, he'd been paid twice within the universal credits cutoff period. So it looks like we have twice the amount of money than we normally would have. So our universal credit benefit is roughly half what it normally would be. Which it happens from time to time. It's fine. Like we'll cope. It's fine. But we were having a moan about it, and someone DM'd me. Someone DM'd me wanting me to like do an interview for a news article. I haven't replied to them yet. And they weren't going to pay me for it. They were going to link to my GoFundMe if I had one. What's universal credit? Universal credit is like the catch-all word now for our benefit system, basically our welfare. I get universal credit because I have 2 children, so I get the child benefit through that, because I only work 4 hours at my part-time job a week and my husband works full-time, so we don't have like 2 full-time incomes. So they make my income up with the benefit, plus having the 2 kids, like they help towards the rent a little bit, that kind of thing, you know, just a little bits because I don't work full-time. And which is fine. Like basically the universal credit comes in, it's my wage, because I'm the one who goes out and buys the groceries and I'm the one who like takes care of the house and all that kind of stuff, right? What about Bo? Yeah, unfortunately I can't claim for fur babies. Yeah, it's a supplementary income, exactly. Yeah, it makes it up with. And because my husband works full time and I don't, we basically treat the universal credit like my wage. Like, even though it's technically as a couple, because he works full time, it's technically my wage. So because he looks like he's earned more, which he hasn't, because he looks like he's earned twice the amount of money this month, my wage is halved, technically speaking. So that's how it is. So it's a bit shit the way they work it. they should be able to go in and see that, because we don't tell them how much we earn. It all gets automatically updated in real time. So our employers tell them how much money they've paid us, so they know how often we get paid. But they still have this cutoff period that is like, it's a pain in the ass, but you know, it'll do. How humane. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know what the welfare system's like in the States and stuff, but that's how we do it. Because it used to be like 25 different benefits, and now it's all worked into one, which has its benefit, but also it's the downsides of it, or is it's a pain in the ass, basically. But yeah, that's that. I need to go back and read the DM from the person, actually, and see if I want to actually do the interview, which I don't. I don't think I do. It was like against the Daily Mail or something. I don't like the Daily Mail, but still. Benefits has benefits. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Anyway, we've been live for like 39 minutes and I haven't even got the game open yet. I should probably do that, shouldn't I? I'm going to pause background music because I'm pretty sure there's music in the game. So we'll pause that. Can I come over here? And then can I open up this? Is it going to update because it's now officially released? Potentially. And I don't know whether to play it on keyboard and mouse or whether to play it on controller. I'll have a look and see. Oh, hey! Photosensitive seizure warning. Yeah, that'll be me. That'll be me. Ah! It's so cute. Press any key. Control scheme. Yeah. Oh yeah. You see, you can do it with the controller. I might put the controller in actually. But also, is it loud? Settings. You never have to go to hospital because she's got her thumb. Oh no, Tessa. Oh no. Take care. Get yourself sorted. We'll be here when you get back. What do people think of Hogwarts Legacy? You know, lots of people are boycotting it for obvious reasons. I will not be playing it at all. And not just because of J.K. Rowling. There are other reasons as well that I shall not be playing that game. I don't think it's right that a game should have the ability to suppress an uprising of a ethnical minority. I don't think that there should be anti-Semitic caricatures of characters in games, the blood libel, the ability to own a house elf, which is essentially a slave. You know nothing about it, to be honest. Oh. Is that working? Can you still hear the game? Yes. Sometimes when I plug my controller in, it switches the sound to come out of my controller. And should we get back? Oh yes, please do. Thank you for the update. You go take care of your little one. Saku! 37 months! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much! What the heck? Thank you. That's a long ass time. Thank you! Was that yours? Yeah. That was the connection sound, not the disconnection sound though. So it's like a bump and a bump rather than blum. You know? There's a bump and lump, which is a good sound. Not the blum. 3 years and a month. Yeah! You're not a Harry Potter fan at all. You knew about the J.K. Rowling scandal, but you only heard about the game like yesterday. Yeah, so obviously J.K. Rowling is a TERF and I should have nothing to do with her. But even if, and I was saying this to Zana, even if the game was not made by J.K. Rowling, even if it had nothing to do with the Wizarding World and it was just the game as it is, the same content but just not Harry Potter IP, I would not play it because when they released the game trailer for it at one of the games cons a while back, I remember watching it thinking, wait, you can suppress a slave uprising? This doesn't feel good. So yeah, it's about a wizard Nazi who owns slaves. This is not good. Regardless of the fact that it's like created a universe created by a TERF. Fuck that. Like, that's bad enough, but So I shall not be playing it. I won't be promoting it. And yeah, not at all. Not at all. I know that some people have been like wondering whether they should play it and la la la, but you do you, but just know that it's bad and know why it's bad and know why people will probably not be best pleased about it if you do decide to play it, you know? I'm not going to stop you from playing it if you want to, but know that I will be judging you. Just know. Just know that. And again, not entirely because of the J.K. Rowling stuff. Not even entirely because of that. A big chunk of it will be because of that. But another huge chunk of it is because of the blood libel and the anti-Semitic caricatures and the slave owning and the suppression of an ethnic minority. The thing is with JKR is that even if she's already been paid for it, which she will have been, it's popular, encourages... Exactly. So, the game company have said that she had nothing to do with it. I mean, they've bought the license from her, so she did. The game developers have already been paid, so don't try and use the, oh, I need to buy it to pay the developers. They've already been paid. So that's beside the bites. And she gets a bit of royalty from it. She will do, because that's how licensing works. And also, if, like Momo says, if it's popular, then it encourages people to keep doing it. And yeah, let's maybe learn from history. Exactly. And she gets paid again in the future. Yes. It's gonna be 49 quid. If it does well, it means that the big companies will make more. If it flops, they'll be discouraged. Exactly. Because didn't they, like, Warner Brothers as the movie studio, not necessarily Warner Brothers as the gaming studio, but didn't Warner Brothers the movie studio kind of cancel the Fantastic Beasts franchise because it didn't go so well and because of things? The art style and stuff doesn't attract you enough to play it. You don't know if you like the battle styles. I couldn't give a shit about the art style or the battle styles. I'm not playing it because of the content. They did, didn't they? Yeah. I thought I'd read that somewhere. Also, welcome back, Dev. Yeah. They were like, this isn't... They even said sorry after to Johnny Depp. I mean, Johnny Depp ain't no angel. Let's get this out straight away. Whether he... I don't want to get into it, but... he's not an angel. Absolutely not. You know? You didn't know anything about the slave thing? I think the more you look into it, the more you realise that it's just bad times. It's bad times. You don't watch all the trailers. See, I will admit, when I saw the first trailer to Hogwarts Legacy, I saw the first trailer and I was like, oh, interesting, an open world Harry Potter game. I mean, Harry Potter, but it looks interesting. And the trailer went on and told you what the gameplay story was like, and you're like, and that was the first trailer I saw. It is hella anti-Semitic, yes. I just don't care about Harry Potter, to be honest. Like, you read them as a kid, but it's just a book. Yeah. I was older when it came out, the book series came out, so I wasn't like into it as a kid. I read them to my daughter and they're bad. Honestly, they're not good at all. So personally, while you think the story's interesting, you thought it was not well written. It's really, someone needs to get J.K. Rowling a dictionary and a thesaurus, as well as a smack upside of her head to stop being bloody turf. But you know, your brother's a big Harry Potter fan. I mean, I know it features heavily in a lot of people's childhoods and stuff, and you know, that's gonna be a thing, but I don't know. It's just full of icky. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Deb, before. Like, aside from the fact that she's a TERF, it's hella racist and ableist, yeah. Even if it had nothing to do with her or the Wizarding World, even if it was just a completely separate IP and had nothing to do with her, I still wouldn't play it because of the way it is. No, thank you. But also, accessibility settings. Can we just... Accessibility settings in a game is a big deal, right? So you can do your color blindness correction, non-deuteranope, protanope, tritanope, or none. So that's pretty cool. The severity of it as well. Subtitle size, so you can make them bigger or smaller depending. So that's pretty cool. And then the subtitles opacity as well. So if you want it to like be there but not stand out as much. We do enjoy accessibility in games. Also, the fact that you can play it on a controller and you haven't got to rely on keyboard and mouse. I know that a lot of people with like dexterity issues find it easier to play on a controller than on a keyboard and mouse. So yeah. Oh, that's nice, Saku. That is nice. Glad that THQ is taking notes and learning. Yeah, because this is made by THQ Nordic. I was given a code from Dead Good Gaming through GameToon. So yeah, I want to obviously say thank you to them as well for that. But yeah, shall we start a new game? Shall we start a new game? I've never played a SpongeBob game in my life, so I don't know what to expect from it. Aside from the fact that it's colourful and fun looking. And I like SpongeBob. So yeah. Let me know if it's too quiet.
I'm ready. I forgot something. No, I'm really ready.
What is that on his head? It's too quiet.
So excited to go to Glove World.
Can I come up here and go options, settings, audio settings? Is that a bit better? It's plotting your demise. No worries. You're hunting, yeah. I can always come into options and
Better meet up with Patrick before he forgets what day it is.
Is that better?
I am.
It's a glove hat. Hey, oh, here's Squidward. Hello.
No, not you. Not today.
I love it.
This day will be about relaxation and inspiration. I am not to be disturbed on my precious day off. I will spend it with the love of my life. Myself. And my art, of course.
Of course. I like that it's voice acted. First I put Monty in the game with it. Now your kitchen sponge. Thank you for the stretch and the hydrate, Merlin. Ooh, a stretch. Ooh, and another stretch. Thank you. Ooh, where's my water? I left my water in the kitchen. I'll go and get it in a sec.
Sounds fun. Can I help?
What's he drawing?
For this, I need you to get something very important for me. Go away.
Side quest. Right, find Patrick at his house. So he's over here. So can we like explore a little? Ooh. Ooh. I mean, I know that I need to go to Patrick, but can I jump up here and stuff? There's my jump button. Can I get up here? Is that too high? Oh, I can double jump. Jump. Hello? Can I reach you? Is that too far? That feels like it's too far. Oh, no, I can, just about.
Being controlled by a higher power? Or like some kid?
Some kid? Shut up. I'm like a whole adult. Shut up. So we can't talk to her, but we can get up here, though. Nice. Okay, let's go and find Patrick under his rock. Hi.
Back after my alarm goes off. I'm on a tight beauty sleep schedule.
You need it? I think it's out now. I think it is. Hold on. Can I do this? Yeah, it released today. It releases today, so yeah. Pretty cool, right? It's gonna be 35 quid. Can I do this and there? Let me know if it's available now. I think it should be. You feel called out, you, Patrick. Okay, find Patrick at his house. Find a way to Sandy at the Tree Dome. Oh, is this? Oh, what's her name? Karen.
That way if I were you, SpongeBob. Big traffic jam blocking the road up ahead.
That's Karen. That's what's his name? Plankton's assistant person, wife, isn't it? £35 is acceptable enough. I mean, it's expensive for me, but you know, it's about
Then
normal
how is everyone
price for a
enjoying food at the
game,
Krusty
right?
Krab?
What? Then this is how everyone enjoys the food at Krusty Krab. Okay.
They aren't. See for yourself.
Oh no!
I'm stuck here with the owners of rivaling restaurants, the Chum Bucket and Krusty Krab.
Seems like a perfect opportunity to start a documentary about Bikini Bottom's best restaurant.
A good idea. A movie about how delicious the chum bucket
6 hours
is
for
would
you.
work
Tad
in
expensive in your currency. You might
millions.
save up for it. Oh, it comes out in 6 hours. Oh, sweet. A movie about look at Plankton.
Hey, you know I meant the Krusty Krab. Nobody goes to the chum bucket unless it's asked for directions away from it.
I hope that Gary's in this game. Gary's probably my favorite character in all of
Anyway,
SpongeBob.
Officials are still investigating where the nails that caused this chaotic collision came from.
Maybe
Ooh.
Mr. Krabs can help find the culprit. He did have a truck full of nails delivered the other day. He must know a
Uh-oh.
lot about nails.
Uh-oh, Mr. Krabs, what did you do? Oh, I can jump over now. We already learned how to jump, game. We already did this because I'm a pro gamer. I don't need to brag or anything, but like I'd already done this. Can you explore over there? Can we explore? Look how his shoes are squeaky. Your leg guy, yeah. Can I like what do these buttons do? Oh jeez. Okay, that's a bad guy. Ooh, I have an email. Bear with a sec. Bear with. Oh, it's okay. It's just from the cookie dough person. Holy shit! Fucking heart attack. Lena! Lena, what are you doing? I know this is we don't get 10 gift sub bombers very often, so that's why this scary sound is so scary. Heckin' heck. Oh my god. Thank you so much. What the fucking fuck. Who got gifted? Who was it? Who got caught? Melly got caught. And Maz. And Brenda. And Dr. Worm. Pink as well. Pink, you got one. Holy shit. Lilypad Rose. Shani Orban. Iclora. And Cindy. Oh my goodness. What the heck? Oh, and Casual STV girl. Yay. Lena, what are you doing? Did you get paid? You gifted 3 months of Nautical. That's 3 months worth of a sub. Lena, what are you doing? Thank you so much. Oh, Vinesh, you have a Sonic emote. I love that. What the heck? Because it would not have made sense otherwise. I mean, we completed the ring. That's fine. That's done. You were absolutely not ready for that. Me neither. Jesus. Oh, because you're going to miss the stream anniversary. Lena, you didn't need to do that, but thank you so much. Thank you. That's 3 months. Oh my goodness. So that'll take you all the way through till when? February, March, April? Hey, Lisa, hi. What have you walked in on? Lena's going mad and gifting gift subs to people. Oh no, you're even. Ah! What the heck? 3 months to Lisa? Oh, now I see. You know how our sub goal things seem to be a bit like balked before? It's because every time you gift 3 months, it counts as 3 subs, even though like it is across time. Because now you've gone up from 13 to 16. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Lisa, get yourself back in that jar, you. It's being cheeky. I'm not it's broke time. It's broke time. Lena's being extremely naughty. I can't be dealing with it. Uh-oh. Game. There we go. Game. There we go. You're gonna use it everywhere? Yes, do it. We're trying to get the stab emote to be one of my most used emotes outside of stream. Jump over. Yeah, I can do it. The sound alone made you jump. Yeah, like I said, we don't get 10 gift sub bombs very often at all, so I made it like that scary sound, and I love it whenever it happens because it means that someone's being incredibly heckin' generous.
All right. right, back it up. Nothing to see here except a giant traffic jam.
I mean, I wouldn't call that a traffic jam. That's more like a... I don't know. A traffic jam is like when people are in traffic but slow. Oh, there's the tree dome. Hey, so this is where Sandy lives. Also, hi. Good morning. How you doing, Lisa? Hey, Sandy.
Howdy, SpongeBob! You're up earlier than an insomniac rooster.
Give 10 subs for Halloween. Karate! How's the game? So far, we haven't really done much because we were chatting for like 45 minutes and then Lena's just giving everybody a miniature heart attack. So we haven't really done much, but it's cute. I like it. You're up earlier than Insomnia. Yes, karate.
But we'll have to put some padding on that one, Sandy. Patrick and I are about to have the best day ever at Glove World. So do
Yay!
you wanna come?
He did the thing! He did the thing!
But you ain't putting no glove on this squirrel. I'd rather seek the thrill of toning exercises and rubber duckies.
Rubber duckies, where are you
If
going?
got a little time to spare, I could use your help hauling out some old junk from my yard.
Anything
Okay.
for you, Sandy. I'm ready to haul, y'all.
I love it. I love it. Oh, the Notterbot ones. Oh, yeah. If any of the mods, if you want to go through and just ban all of the Notterbot ones, they're apparently coming into streams that have got the LGBT tags and stuff, and VTubers, I think. Lena! What are you doing? Thank you for gifting to Simon. This is what you were doing last time, isn't it? Anybody who talks in chat that's not gonna sub, you're like, 3 months, there you go. Have 3 months. There you go. Thank you, Monty. Appreciate those gift subs, Monty. Thank you. Oh, Simon, that was your 18 month. Oh, hang on a sec. That means you get a sticker. Wait for it. Wait for it. You get 18 months is a star sticker, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. What color star sticker do you want? If I come over here, hold on. You can have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or purple. And I'll stick it on your name. While you're having a think about it, I'll go and get the board. Bear with. Hey, I've already found you. There you are. Simon Beveridge. How can I help you? What colour would you like? If you don't have a preference, I'll just choose a random one for you. I have, like I said, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, or purple. Ta-da! Thanks in advance. Aww. So sweet. What can I get you, Simon? Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that sound. The drowning Sonic sound. It's loud. Red, please. Red it is. Ooh, there we go. I found you. You're down here. You're right by Lisa, actually. There you are. Red one on for Simon, and there's Lisa right next to you with purple. Hey, and Tezza in the corner. Nice. Oh, and there's Lena as well, right next to you. Everyone all gathered in the corner. Bear with. I'm going to put it back. It's a naughty corner, yeah. It is the naughty corner, you lot. Thank you. Oh yay, thank you for coming out and thanking Elena Maz. How you doing? Okay. We need to clean up around Sandy's tree dome. Hey, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Welcome. Let's see. How do we tidy up? What is that over there? Do I want to know? Oh, it's a person, a little fish person.
Hungry and confused.
That's like me. That's me constantly, just hungry and confused. I love how his little shoes squeak. Oh, okay. How to spin attack. Press X. What's X on a PlayStation controller? Because that's obviously Xbox controller, and I'm playing on a PlayStation controller. Hey Lynn, hi! Long time no see. You've been struggling with your mental health? Oh no! Been busy with that, but sometimes you come in and lurk because you miss me. Oh, I miss you all too! Square is X, thank you, Nautical. I hope you're feeling a little bit better, and the fact that you've felt good enough to come out of lurk, that means a lot. Thank you so much. You know, we're always here to try and help you and distract you if you need that. Give you somewhere nice. You're gonna go and take the pup for a walk. No worries, Lena. Have good looks. Okay, so this is how you attack things. Yoink. Yoink. Sweet. Hey, we did it. Talk to Sandy. We did the thing for you. Hey, thank you very much. As it goes, Y, X, B, A. Okay. Sometimes it's hard, but you're gonna be okay. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you're gonna be okay. But it is hard, isn't it? It can be really, really hard. Oh, I'll read that later. That's just from school. Great job, SpongeBob. Okay, cool. Oh, that's his alarm. So Patrick's awake now. We can go back and get him. Go back and find a way. Oh, we need to find a way back. Okay. Can we jump over here? Oh, a little button. We can spin the tag to press the button. Okay, cool. And then what does that do? Is that made us a trampoline? Yay!
Bikini Bottom, the most perfectly perfect place in the entire universe. Home to my friends. Good morning, best friend. Are you ready for a glovely adventure?
Lovely. I see what you did there.
What am I stayed up all night.
He's got the hat on too.
Hands.
Aw.
A few seconds later.
A few seconds later. Is this the loading screen? Is the few seconds later meme? Love that. Oh no. They look miserable.
Look, Patrick. Cool kids.
Oh no, not the cool kids.
Hi.
Teenagers.
I wish I could do cool things.
You can.
This wagon just ominously appeared out of nowhere?
Who cares? Nah. Still not cool enough.
Uh-oh. What is that? It's shiny. Don't touch it, SpongeBob. Put it back.
Can I have this?
A mermaid!
Piece of magic and mystery.
Madam Cassandra.
My name is Madam Cassandra, purveyor of long-lost treasures of the seven seas.
I like her,
For those on a budget.
but I feel like she's probably evil.
Magic bubbled soap. Breathe life into your dreams. They
It's
say
bu-
with
it's a
this
bubble
unique
bath.
bubble maker thingy, you can become whoever you want to be.
Oh, it's a bubble
Receive
blower.
Whatever you want to have. Just bubble your wish into the heavens.
Hey! We've got a
Not that it
bubble
ever
blower.
worked for me.
Ooh.
One loading screen later.
Loading screen, I love it.
I wish. No. I wish. No. I wish.
Balloons!
Okay. My first wish is on behalf of my very best friend who loves balloons. I wish
Balloons!
for Patrick to have the biggest balloon.
The time card is so funny. Oh, the balloon, the bubbles in the shape of Patrick. I need it.
Is it too much to ask for just one day of peace and quiet?
You know when
How
you're an
am I
adult
supposed to paint my newest masterpiece
and you start
with
to
you two clowns
identify with this guy.
constantly giggling in my ears?
I wish that Squidward will finally be appreciated for his art.
Aww. See,
What are you
SpongeBob
two up
likes
to?
him. He does all
Wait
these
for
lovely
it.
things
I wish
for
for
him.
the whole world to see how amazing Sandy is.
All these really selfless wishes.
Thanks, SpongeBob.
He's precious.
Nifty bubble.
3 hours later.
Wow.
SpongeBob, what does it mean when it says, only those of innocent heart may harness the power of the mermaid tears?
I guess it means I was destined to find this bubble soap.
Aww, because he is
It also
innocent.
says
He's so precious.
Property of King Neptune, not for use by mortals. Use sparingly and with caution.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no. Neptune's gonna come after us now? Ugh, getting sucked into another dimension is not good. A loading screen without the time card? What is this? Oh, there's stuff everywhere. Oh, is that all like the bubble stuff? All that blue stuff everywhere? Oh no, manure truck. Oh, this is where it becomes like a platform game. Heck yes.
Oh no, Patrick! What have we done?
What have you, Nauticals just saying that in chat? What have we done?
Who would have thought that a magic potion
Uh-oh.
from a mysterious fortune teller in a sketchy wagon could backfire?
Why has Patrick become a balloon?
Yes, it was utterly unforeseeable. Wait a second! Patrick, you're a balloon!
Does everyone have their like wishes get weirdly turned around on them?
I wish. If I were a balloon, I'd be able to do cool stuff like this. And this. And this.
So we're gonna have to like, carry him around with us like a companion. Hi Violet, how you doing? Welcome in.
See, SpongeBob? Oh, I am a balloon. That's probably why I've been feeling so bloated
A
lately.
platformer just like Battle for Bikini Bottom. I assume so. I haven't played any of the other SpongeBob games, but I assume that they're fairly similar.
We need to find our friends and make sure they're all right.
Oh. Okay, so we need to get across the flooded area. That's our objective marker over there. I wonder what happens if we fall in the water. Do we lose one of our like pants lives?
Order up!
What are these?
Good thing Squidward is such an even-tempered fella, or he might get upset about this.
Where's Patrick's house? Okay, oh, there's an anchor there.
My rock! My beautiful giant
Or is it his antenna? Is his antenna off the top of his rock?
Oh, no! My giant sticky notes are gone too! Now how am I going to remind myself to buy more giant sticky notes?
Don't worry, Patrick. I'm sure those sticky notes are around here somewhere.
We'll find him.
Or there. Or over there.
We'll find him, don't you worry. Yeah, that's his antenna off the top of his house, isn't it? Oh, so we need to reach Sandy's tree dome, which is the other side of that traffic jam. We were there. Okay. Can I... Hey, Cola, how you doing? Just woke up. How you doing? Good morning. How to ground pound. Press A and then B. Okay, so we jump and then ground pound. Sweet. I don't play very many platform games on stream, but I actually really do enjoy platform games in real life, like off stream.
Wait a minute.
I used to play them a lot as a kid.
All this craziness is from one of Sandy's experiments gone wrong.
No, it won't
And
be.
it's all her fault.
No, it won't be. Patrick,
I don't think
no.
so, Patrick. Sandy's experiments always leave the smell of acorns in the air. All I smell around here is sponge breath and bubble soap.
Sponge breath.
Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff.
Find a way to reach the Krusty Krab. Okay, where's the Krusty Krab?
Order up!
Oh, we can do the ground pound. Oh, I was too far away from it. Oh, there's a trampoline fell down. Cool. Yeah, I used to play a lot of like Crash Bandicoot and stuff. This is so cute. Glad you got the key. Yay! Thank you. Yeah. I am very happy. Like I said, thank you very much to Game Tomb, which is a company owned by Dead Good Media. Yeah, thanks for this. I can use the pizza box to glide. Are you kidding me? That's very cool. Okay, so we're going that way. Pizza box to glide. Hey, and can I also like get rid of these? Sweet. Pizza. Oh, woo. Nearly didn't make it. Oh no. There we go. Oh, I'm too low. 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 Oh no. I was too low. Okay, wait till I'm at the very apex of the jump and then glide. I'm still too low, really. I'm still too low. That was as high as I could get, right? Can I like... Can I... No, 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 no. Can I double jump? Or press down there? No.
Thank you, Patrick.
How do I get across there? That is... I'm running out of lives.
No more chafing.
Oh, 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 oh. No, I still can't do it. That is too far. There's got to be another way. Oh, no. I didn't jump in then. I didn't jump in. There's got to be another way across. Oh, not another way across, but I've got to be missing something here. Go across. Go. on there. Break these open. Get all them. And then double jump and... Oh, no, no. I did it again, didn't I? I'm gonna fall in again. I know it. Let me see. Go right to the very edge. And then glide. Okay, and then... There, that's better. That's better. I got it.
No, not the Krusty Krab.
It's gone.
Bikini Bottom eat now.
Uh-oh.
And without Mr. Krabs, who will help them unburden their wallets?
Even the chum bucket's wrecked. They can't even go to the chum bucket instead. Oh, what are these guys? Aliens?
Hand off of me. I'm too smart to end like this.
Oh no, do we have to save Plankton? He's the bad guy. But, you know, SpongeBob's pure, so he would. Yes, I know how to spin attack. You don't need to tell me every single time. I know how to do it. Oh, battle arena. How to dodge. Left stick and then B. Oh, cool. Okay, so like this. Woo! But I am always terrible at dodging in games. I tend to just go in all guns blazing. Just like...
Cellular idiots. Thanks to you, all of Bikini Bottom is sunk into chaos. My restaurant is tipped over, and our poor little spot is missing.
Oh no!
You could have at least involved me. That's like, you know, my thing.
It is. It is. How could we possibly do that without him? Her spot? I don't remember that from SpongeBob.
Oh no! Sorry, Plankton. We'll make things right again.
You have to fix this before someone besides me can take advantage of this chaos.
Correct.
Why are you repeating yourself? Is your hard drive skipping again?
Incorrect.
There's a little fish person over there. Can you see the little girl in the back with the pigtails? There's the mermaid.
Over here, my little blunders.
Oh no, that's like a little Gary looking thing. Also, can we get these? Let's go and see her. He's Plankton's pet. Yeah, but what kind of pet is he? Do we know? Obviously, like, SpongeBob's pet is Gary, who is a snail. Hi.
My adorable cuties. You survived this calamity.
We did indeed.
No, Madam Cassandra. We were just having fun, but we accidentally used too much of your magic bubble soap and destroyed Bikini Bottom. And now all of our friends are gone, and there's jelly everywhere, and well, I miss my Care Bear.
He had a Care Bear. Oh.
This is just too perfect.
Oh, she sounds like Ursula.
That's not just any jelly, SpongeBob. It's cosmic jelly.
That's the name of the game.
Reality. Your bubble stravaganza must have blown holes through
Roll
the
credits.
universe, squeezing the jelly out and sucking your friends into new and strange worlds.
Oh yeah, they got sucked into those like portals, didn't
That
they?
was gonna be my first guess.
You have to bring me as much of it as you can gather so I
Will
can
do.
study it and, help reverse the mess you've created. After all, I'm at least partially responsible for using such a powerful potion by accident.
Makes sense to me.
No questions here.
Excellent. Now jump into the portals that opened up all over town. I can use some of the jelly to tailor cosmic costumes for you, each linked to one portal. The more jelly you bring, the more portals we can pass.
Oh, that's cool.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Come on. Let's save Bikini Bottom from the unintended yet devastating consequences of our own actions.
Yeah, let's do that. Look at him, a little cowboy. Oh, sinister laugh. Oh.
Find the portal that suits your costume. Once you have located your friends, you can use the magic bubble wand to return them home.
Oh, that's fancy. So we're gonna go into like a little cowboy world. Use the shop to equip and purchase SpongeBob's costumes. Unlock costumes by playing the story, collecting doubloons. Doubloons! And completing a side quests. Anyone on mobile finding that all channels are much softer all of a sudden? Oh, you mean like going quieter? Oh, I don't know. Use the costume jelly to purchase unlocked costumes and access the shop in the pause menu. Okay.
Oh,
Hey, I got an achievement.
awful about this, huh?
So we can go into the pause menu. Oh, here we go. So there's 44 awards. We've got the dress up, defeat 10 baby booms by reflecting their missile. Defeat 10 enemies with the burrower. Defeat 25 enemies with big jelly attacks. Oh, there's so many different like achievements to get. And this is the world map. And then these are our costumes. So we've got normal SpongeBob, we've got Wacky Child, which is the glove world one, and then we've got the cowboy one. Okay. So let's see. That is the place that we need to go to, I'm guessing. How would we know that though? If that wasn't like lit up, how would we know? Is it like labeled or anything?
Come on, Patrick. We have to rescue them.
Hey! Yes! Do that, Dev. I highly recommend Wild Deodorant. I've been using it for a while now. It's really, really good. So if anybody wants to use those codes that Dev's got, please do. It came with your order. Sweet. I love Wild. It's so good. I had to end my subscription, but only because they last so long that I didn't need them as often as the subscription was coming. But when the ones I've got run out, I'm going to keep buying more. Do you know what I mean? Like as one-offs rather than on a subscription basis. But yeah, I would definitely recommend them. Grab those codes, friends. You don't get a subscription? Nah. Like, did you find that they were lasting way longer than they think that they should last? One of our friends might be on the other side of the portal. Okay, let's go. Can I go? One of yours lasted 3 months. Yeah, I think that they intend it to last one every month, but nah, they were lasting way, way longer. Ooh. Oh, I need to move myself forward. Okay. We have 86 jellies and no monies. Look at us in a little Wild West area. Ah. Oh, a seahorse. Oh, that was the thing. I see. I saw the signpost. I thought it was like a dinosaur. It's a seahorse. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is fun. Okay. Okay. Now where do we go? That was fun. Oh no, the train. I know. Always look across the thing for train from Sandrock. Get your juice.
Sorry, partner. I'm looking for my pal, Mr. Krabs. About yay high, red, likes money.
Crab problem, eh? I reckon you're going to want to talk to the sheriff in Manta Fe.
Oh, we're going to Manta Fe. Okay. Ooh, checkpoint. Dude, is this an automatic checkpoint? We haven't got to like interact with it or anything. That's pretty good. Oh, also get these extra bits of jelly.
Phew, what a fun ride.
Where are you going?
Let's get in line and ride it again.
Where are you going? Can I get any of these things? Oh, that's Manta Fe. Can I break open these boxes and stuff actually? Because I'm going to need the extra stuff. I mean, I've played way too many Zelda games to know that you don't just walk past boxes. You got to break them open, right? Like these ones here. And they look a little bit like the boxes from Crash Bandicoot as well. We got to get all the way over there. Ooh, fun. Fun times. Let's go. Oh my god, that was wobbling. That was shaking my controller as well. Oh, do we not touch them whilst they're electrical, I guess?
If she says bringing her jelly will help get our friends back, then bring her jelly we shall.
Yes, we will. Oh, did I? Oh, I can jump up there. That's fine. Go this way. Oh, there's another trampoline here. Can I, like... Yes, I can. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, I killed them all. Look at me go. Combat. Yes. Maybe I just can't play a game of... God of War. Maybe I just look at God of War, but I can do combat if it's cartoony games. I wonder if I stand on these long enough, they will break. Oh, yeah, they do. I saw that one behind me broke. Uh-oh. Okay, where are we? Did we come all the way around there? Oh, we did. Oh, okay. That felt really quick. Oops. I don't want to touch them while they're electrocuting. There we go. Get some more of these jellies. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We're getting hot. That way to Manta Fe.
What is it, SpongeBob? What do you see? Water? Soda? Soda water? What do you see?
We need a drink. We're so thirsty. Oh, we're jail.
It's so small. We'll never fit in there. Why do we have to be so big?
Oh, it's not small, Patrick.
Just far away.
It's just very, very far away.
Yeah. Oh. Oh my gosh, that our driving school teacher, Mrs. Puff.
If anyone knows where Mr. Krabs is, it's her.
Yay! Oh no, give us a ride, Mrs. Puff. Oh, she didn't stop for us. Rude.
Let's catch up with her.
Oh, we need to catch up with her.
Here, even though she knows us back home.
Where is she? Oh, that's an extra life thing, isn't it? Oi, stop fighting me. That thing hit me then. Hey, volcanoes, nice. Get that volcano refilled. I know that we have to... Oh, there's a checkpoint. Sweet. I'm going to get all these jellies as well because I feel like those are things we need. Can I go... Is this where we came in? Oh, we can go that way. We can go loads of different ways. Can I go... If I go through here with my pizza box? Oh, no, no, no. I dropped it. I missed it. I loosed the button. Don't loose the button. Go through those. And there we are. Oh, that was a life. No more chafing. Oh. Double jump over there. Get these. Go through the holes. Can I get retreat? Yes, I can. Just about. Oh my god, that's I thought we were gonna fall in the water then for a sec. Can I go this way? Oh, it's gonna fall. 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 Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Oh, that's. They have got real spikes on them. Oh, I didn't see that. Hi, how you doing? I do not speak very good Spanish, no. I am learning Spanish, but I'm not very good at all.
I think it dropped from Mrs. Puff's carriage.
I can hold a very, very basic conversation. But yeah, we speak English in chat anyway because my mods don't speak Spanish or anything, so it makes it easier for them to moderate the chat. Wanted? Did you see those posters that said that Mr. Krabs was wanted? What's he done? What have you done, Mr. Krabs? Oh, can we... How to bubble button? You don't need to ask the same question 3 times in a row, Layla. I already answered it. Back to the game. So I go right button. So is that this one? Oh, it is. It is. Sweet. Oh god. Oh no no no. I didn't know that it was gonna take that away from me. Okay, so now we go down here. Oh, gotta fight you. Gotta fight you. Gotta fight you. Oh, I need to use one of these. Oh. Can I crack it? Oh no. Oh, I see. Like, stuns them, and then I can carry on. I get it. I get it. I get it. And then I can use that.
I feel like I've had several near-death experiences on this ranch before.
Can I? Oh, I can hit this. Bring it a little bit lower. I see. Now I got it. Now I got it. Oh, it's gonna bring it up to me. Run all the way across.
Whoa, is that Mrs. Puff?
Checkpoint. Sweet. Was there any bits of thing there? Nope. Can I break these open? Oh, there she is. There's Mrs. Puff. I gotcha.
Hi, strangers. You came here by foot? That's awfully dangerous.
She says strangers. She doesn't know who we are, right? Is that like an isekai kind of thing?
I get puffy just thinking about it.
I get puffy after eating stale food.
Hi, my name's SpongeBob, and this balloon is Patrick. We're looking for
Isn't it just though, Pink? I love it.
But he might not be called Mr. Krabs. He could be traveling under a different name.
Yeah, we saw him on those wanted posters.
Like Jeremy.
Like Jeremy.
Or Petunia.
Or Captain Claus.
Yeah, either of those is good.
A crab without a name, huh? Try Manta Fe. It's where everyone without something ends up.
That's where we've been heading towards.
Give us a ride there?
This is a riding school, not a taxi service. However, if you take my test,
we've got to do our driving test
with your own riding license.
Oh no, but SpongeBob's not very good at driving, is he?
My very own license.
Whenever you're ready, meet me by the seahorse. We'll see if
it's trans friendly, you know what I mean? Yeah, because they were like, well, you could go by
Manta
Petunia.
Fe.
We're gonna ride a seahorse. I'm excited. Okay. Learn how to ride a seahorse. We can't. Can I like hop and get some of these jellies first? Also,
More jelly.
get some of these. Can we go inside this building, I wonder? Nope. Let's go. Let's go and learn how to ride a seahorse. Oh, talk to me.
Mrs. Puff, I mean, teacher lady.
Teacher
I need to
lady.
confess that I've been through this sort of thing before, and I'm not always the best test taker, so...
Nope.
So, any chance we can skip this part?
Nope.
Oh, nonsense, SpongeBob. A little
Oh, hydrate. Yes,
rodeo
I do need to go.
never
I
hurt
needed to get that from before.
You
My water's in the
survived
kitchen.
it.
I need to go and grab it. But we are going to be going through a break in about 2.5 minutes anyway, so I'll grab a drink when I go for my break.
Set.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! No! Don't get hit by them! How to seahorse boost? Hold X. Okay, that's square, isn't it? Okay, I did it. Whoa! Jump! Whee! Oh my goodness! Break through the thing. Don't get hit by the spikes. Don't get hit by the spikes. Oh my god! Oh, I got injured. Oh no. Okay, I need to break through there and there. I'm trying. I'm trying. Oh, can I get that? Is that like a health thing? It is. Oh no! No, the train! How did I not get hit by the train? Also, wasn't there like a health thing down here? Yes. I need to get these pants, don't I? Can I get these? Why can't I get the pants? It won't let me like crack them open. Rip seahorse. I know. Right, let's try again. Let's try again. Off we go. Now I know a little bit more what I'm doing. Right, avoid the cactuses, cacti. Run, smash, jump. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Get these done. No, avoid, avoid, avoid. Keep going, keep going. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that way, that way. Keep going, keep going. We're gonna hit that train. Go, 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 quick! Whoa! That was so close! Oh my gosh! Oh no, we were down. Did you see our burger lives went down? Right, before we carry on, before I go and do it again, our ads are going to be running in about 30 seconds or so, so I won't try again now. Oh, can I jump up here? Oh, I can. Up onto the roof? Look at those extra jelly bits up here. Hey! So yeah, when our ads start running, I will go on a break. So you won't miss anything anyway. And then we can come back here in 3 minutes time and then we'll be ad-free for another hour. How has it been another hour already? But I'm going to pause it there. I'm going to go on my BRB screen and I'll see you in about 3 minutes time. Have fun. Go grab a drink. Go grab a snack. All those lovely things. That's what I'm going to do. See you soon. Hi! Welcome back, everybody. My light seems low today, but that's as high as it goes. Welcome back from the ads. Thank you so much for sitting through those. It really does help. I hope you took that time to go stretch, have a drink and things. I have my water, so thank you so much for the hydrates. I'll do 2 because there were 2 hydrate redeems, so one from Merlin and one from Pink, right? There we go. Thank you. Thank you for taking care of me and my health, otherwise I would forget to drink. We all know that. Streamers never drink water unless they've been told to by their chat. Okay, let's get back in to the game. Can I get back into the game? Can I do that? Yes. Oh, move the controller right there. There we go. I need to go back and try and do... Oh, hang on. There's more jelly up there. Can I jump up here? Oh, yes, I can. Sweet. Go around and get all these. You got some tea? Sweet. Where am I going? Should I be doing this or should I wait and do the seahorse thing first? But this is fun. We're getting loads more jelly. I don't know whether we should be doing this later, but heck. I'm gonna enjoy doing it now. Part of the platform, alright? We're doing platform things. Let me go to here and then smash. Oh, can I smash it multiple times? You're gonna get some tea, no worries, Dev. I don't think it's getting any more cracked. No, we'll come back and do that another time. I might need an extra thing for that. You know, there's a set order, you have to do things. That's good. Although I do prefer games that give you a set order to do things in. I like to know what I need to do in what order. But let's go. Let's go back and do seahorse training things. And see what we can do. Oh, there's some more like... Oh, hang on. No, hang on. Hang on. Before I do that, let's go up here. And there seems to be some jelly on this side too. Oh my gosh, do we need to like jump across there, like parkour it? Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay, so can I... Oh no, no. Failed. That was a failure. Get these. Let me try that again. That was not very good. I always forget that you're underwater in SpongeBob. Yeah, this is why I didn't get on very well with Breath of the Wild, because I don't like open world. You can do anything you want to do. But really, there's a secret order. You can't just go and do this before the other thing, but, you know, we're not going to tell you that. No, I did it again. I went over it. Okay, do this. We'll go do the seahorse thing. Oh, yeah, don't forget to do that Huel thing. If you want to help me out for free, you can absolutely click on that link, head over to the website, and support me for free. Okay, go through. No, I went through that. I got injured. You're gonna go into lurk? No worries. The power's going off soon.
Keep on smashing.
Can I smash these? Yes, I can. Refill my energy with this burger. Go. That was close. Their insurance. Oh no. Look at us go. Yeah. Could jump over that.
Usually means stop.
Okay. Oh, did we do it?
Here, you have 6 points.
Yes.
Out of 7.
Only one
Hey!
Oh. Yay! Oh, can we repeat?
Oh no, that's not necessary. I didn't know you had fun. Fun is worth an extra
Fun's worth an extra point. Hey, Trixie, welcome in.
Thanks, partner.
Excellent, we got our license.
A license.
No, we probably wasn't supposed to do that. We got our own. Did we get our own horse now?
This license only allows me to ride seahorses and seahorse-like animals, with the exception of. This doesn't say anything about boatmobiles.
We can't ride a car.
Once boatmobiles have been invented, I'll just have to take the test again.
Okay, so now we need to talk to the sheriff. Where's the sheriff? Oh, way back up there. Okay, fair enough. Let's go. Look at all this. Look at them all. Wow, there are so many like jellies about the place. Can we see if we can go and get some? Can I jump up here and get some of these? Here we go. Oh no. I jumped too much.
You feel like we're being watched?
Watched? Who's watching? No one's watching. Shh, it's fine. Let's go this way. No one's controlling your reactions. Don't worry about it. Oh no. I don't like it when games become self-aware. Can I get rid of all these? What is that? Hey! Hidden. There was a hidden button behind these. Sneaky. Can I go back this way? Is that like give me an extra life? I don't need it though, do I? Because I already have it. Welcome back, Dave. We got some nice tea. Can I get these? Yes. Loads more jelly. We are finding so much jelly. And then we also know where there's an extra life should we need one. What is this? What is this? Can I oh no. Can I hit this? Oh, is it like a game? Okay. Press it. I can't do it any quicker than a certain one, can I? Or can I not press it? How many points did I get? Am I supposed to get just those? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do there. Like, if I'm meant to do a particular order. There's loads of jelly over there, though. Let's go talk to the sheriff. Is the sheriff inside? This kind of looks like the Krusty Krab. Yeah, the building kind of looks like the same shape as the Krusty Krab. Uh-oh. Is she the sheriff? Oh, Sandy's the sheriff.
It's Sandy. I mean, it's the sheriff.
Now look what the snail dragged in. You may be yellow as mustard, but you got the bite.
Oh, don't bite. Too unsanitary. I'm looking for my friend, Mr. Krabs. Have you seen him? He's got.
It is a lobster trap, yeah.
Legs.
I'm off duty for the dole, sweetie, but hey, if you can take me, I might look into your case.
Ooh.
You in? Better get yourself a straw partner and make sure it sips straight. We're gonna have ourselves a nice little cactus soda showdown. There ain't a sea critter alive that can drink more soda than me. You're going
We're gonna drink her to the table.
Maybe at nap time.
Oh no. Oh no. Jelly bandits. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Can I get him? Can I get him? Oh no, not these ones. Oh no. Whoa, there are so many of them. Jeez. Can I get rid of you now? Yeah. There are so many.
Like that. Let's see what you're really made of. Grab your straw.
Let's go. Oh, what is this? Oh, hang on. Okay, got it. Oh, I need to keep tapping it. Okay. Oh, is she gonna beat me? It's close. I got it. Go! Did we win? We won! That's a weird little mini game.
Ever since this red-handed bandits took over.
Red-handed bandit? I bet that's Krabs, right? That's gotta be Mr. Krabs.
Any chance you can go up to Cactus Hills and fetch some more cactus juice for us?
Yes.
The sooner we can finish our duel, the sooner I can solve your crab case.
Don't you worry, Sheriff. Deputy SpongeBob.
I got a case of crabs.
Balloon Deputy Patrick.
Yep.
On the case.
Okay, cool. So now we need to go to find and collect more cactus juice. Oh, look, they're doing it. What are they doing? Are they twerking on the stage? Sirs, this is a family establishment. Goodness me. Also, can I... Oh, that's a dartboard, but can I, like, bubble thing get it? No. But I can go upstairs and get some more of these jellies, though. Ooh. Oh, can I hang from these, like, blue things on the sky? Oh.
Hey, that was my hiding barrel.
Sorry, I moved it. Oh, can I... Oh, I did it again. I'm not very good at those, am I? I'm not very good at landing on these blue floating head things. We can try again, though. Let's see. Okay. Ooh. That's a massive piece of jelly. That got us loads, right?
Sticky sweet. Look at me go.
Then can I go this way? There's another big one over there. Oh, that was close. That was very close.
I don't like cactuses. They're not even pretty.
Cacti.
They're
They
just
are.
green, juicy, and thorny.
Some cactuses are really pretty.
Hurt your mouth when you eat it.
Like a cucumber that hurts your mouth when you eat it.
Don't worry, Patrick. We'll be out of here as soon as we find more cactus juice.
Cool.
Uh-oh. Looks like it wants to duel.
Uh-oh. What is that? Cactus juice, it'll quench ya. What the heck is that? How to bubble throw? Right. Yeah. And do I just press it twice? Okay. Like... Oh, it's just... Oh. That's just what I already knew. Okay, fair enough. Then I can hit it again. Move out the way. Oh, that's like health. Okay, okay. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Ugh, what are they spitting at me? Excuse me. What is that? What is that? I don't want to know. What is that? It's tartar sauce? Yeah, that's what you keep telling yourself. It's milk. It's cactus juice, but it don't look like it.
Gentleman can point us in the right direction.
Oh,
Howdy,
oh!
Sir. I'm SpongeBob
It's the red-handed bandit.
Have we met before?
Hey, cowboy.
Familiar-looking stranger.
Sorry, I don't ring any bells.
He's like mariachi. Hey, Pink, how you doing? Another Pink. Okay. Hey, cowboy. Okay.
I suggest hiring a consultant to guide you. For
Consultant.
70%.
70% crabs.
With the most refreshing
70%. Only if I'm getting the 70.
Amounts of money for him, since the shortage.
The shortage?
70%?
Multiple pinks, yeah.
Sounds a bit fishy.
It does, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did I say 70? I meant 80, of course.
No, that's even worse. That's worse. If he's the one who wants the 80, not us, right?
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Just keep going till you reach them Cactine Hills.
Okay.
And don't ye scam your hard-working consultant. I'm only taking
90 now.
90% of the business.
90?
Patrick, let's find those thorny cucumbers.
Thorny cucumbers. That's what I'm going to call them from now on. Right, press this. I still don't have to like... Oh, I missed the thing. I missed the boat. I missed it. Okay, I can get it back. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, press it again. No, I'm actually on it. Well, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. A warning sign.
Cactine Hills. Spines, deadly heat, bandits, and quicksand. Enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Seems pretty dangerous, SpongeBob.
Maybe there's a seahorse around here in need of a licensed rider.
You're getting married to Abigail? Oh, Kelly, that's so nice. She's a great wife. I love being married to Abigail. She's lovely. Wait till you see her 14 heart event later on. It's very good.
Oh, baby,
It's very, very good. Am I going underneath? Oh no! Went this way. Oi, don't spit stuff at me! Oh god! Did I need to do that? I don't know if I needed to do that. You.
Funny
You.
meeting you here. Just checking on the barrels. You know, keeping them safe from bandits.
Yeah, bandits like
There's
you.
juicy profit, onion, cacti, all around these parts. Now get.
No, get. We gotta save the cactus from crabs. Collect the cactus juice. Where's all the cactus juice? Is it like? Is that it up there? Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh no, there's another one of those big things there. That's like, stop. Oh no! What's going on? What? I couldn't move. Like, hit it. Go away. Spurting your weird, suspicious-looking, sticky white substance at me, please. Oh.
Even a blind hog can find an acorn once in a while.
The bone's talking to me. The skull is talking to me. Am I okay? Oh, Jesus. Am I okay? Have I been drinking too much cactus juice? Probably. Ugh. I find the first cactus and I collect the juice from it. How do I do that? Okay, just press Y, hold it down. Okay, well that wasn't too... Oh no, did we dry it out? Uh-oh. That doesn't look healthy at all. Let's go. Who lit Taupe on fire? What? What? Taupe? Oh, no. I can't get that one. Where? Over where? Over where? I was going up here, wasn't I? Is this the direction I was going? Toph the streamer? Oh no! Okay. Health.
I'm feeling better already. Sticky scoop.
Got all these. We've got 764 jellies. I don't know if that's a lot or if not a lot. Oh no! I pressed the wrong button. Oh shit! Oh, it's from Avatar. It's a scene where the cactus gets higher. Oh really? I haven't seen much of that series. My husband watched it. And what's the other one? What's the one that came after it? Legend of Korra? I haven't watched any of them. I feel like I should though. Come on, I got that one. Come on this way. Oh, what? Why? Why does it keep doing that to me? I didn't press the button again. Go here. Goodness sakes. Oh, because it confused me because there's a streamer called Toph. I was like, why is Toph on fire? What are you talking about? Oh, no. That time I did press the button. That was me. That was me. I was trying to double jump it and did not do very well. Okay. This time I'm gonna do it. This time we're gonna make it all the way across, okay? There we are. I made it across. Sail across nicely and then oh, can I not jump on that one? Is it too big? No, it's not gonna let me smash it. Right, we'll go up this way. Oh god, they're shaking. Oh god, they're shaking. Oh no, oh no, oh no. It's a battle arena. It's a battle arena. It's a battle arena. No, no, no. Oi! Where's the... Oi, you need to be got rid of. Thank you. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Are we underneath the big star thing? I can see the shadow. Where is it? Where is it? I'm literally underneath the star, but I look up and it's not there. I'm concerned. Get these. Get the... Get the... Oh, I can't get it. I can't get it. Hey, Casual. Hi! You're watching me on YouTube? Were you really? That's so cool. Thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate you watching me on YouTube. And that's a good point as well. Anybody who hasn't been catching up with me on YouTube, all the Stardew stuff is up on YouTube. If you miss any of the streams, even if you watched it on stream, to be honest, go watch them again on YouTube. It really, really helps. Yeah, we got a 10 gift sub bomb from Lena, and you got caught up in it, so yay. Oh, there's the star thing. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, I got it. I got it. Can I jump on it? Yes. And now, is it going anywhere? Is it taking me anywhere? We need to go up there. If you're not watching down on YouTube, what are you doing with your life? Thank you. Yeah. What are you doing? Oh no. Oh no. I'm gonna fall off this. Look at his little footprints. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, jeez, I nearly fell off then. I was too busy looking at the cute little footprints. Gotcha. Gotcha. Dead. Oh no, you didn't know. No. You nearly escaped me. This game is so fun. And so cute. I love it. I know it's very, very different from the kind of stuff that we normally play. Are you kidding me? From the stuff that we normally play. Oh, shit. That was not what I wanted to do. But I'm having the best time. That first hour and a half, well, nearly 2 hours of stream now has just flown by. Oh, there's... There we go. Am I going to try and finish it? I'm going to play as much as I can. I got an award unlocked. Sponge out of harm's way. What is that? I want to get that health thing there. Wait, I'm trying to jump. So if I... No. No, wait. Why every time I jump does it do that? I don't want to jump and do that. No. I want to do... Oh, I wanted to do that. Why is he making me jump down like that? Weird. Oh, is it because of this? Yeah, that's why. This controller is a second-hand controller, and sometimes the left trigger sticks. So when you do left trigger, that's when you do the smash thing. So that's why it was doing that weird, like, not jumping properly thing before. That's because my controller sucks. It was a second-hand one. And sometimes it's a bit janky. Right, where was I going? Up there. Like when I used to play Fall Guys, and you had to press left trigger to see the people's names on the field, or to get rid of the people's names on the field, the names would like flicker on and on because that button kept catching. But yeah, now I know why. Right, zoom all the way across. Ooh. Where were they? Those things that were coming up out the ground?
That should cover my buns.
Oh, that's how to get up here again. If I get lost? If I fall down, maybe? I don't think I'll be able to finish this all in one stream. I really don't think I will. Oh, it auto saves as well, but that's useful to know. But I'll give it a go. I wasn't sure how I'd like it. Hi! Is the game jumping heavy? It feels like it is, yeah. It's a platformer, so like a lot of platformers are jumping heavy, I guess. But you can play it on with a controller like I'm using right now. Shit, I did it again. Or you can do keyboard and mouse if you prefer. Did I get all of these? Yes. Where's that quick shortcut back up again? It made us a shortcut, didn't it? Here it is. Yeah, this is the shortcut that we found. Oh, the cowbone. You're so bad at platformers. I'm not great at them, but I do enjoy them. A vain man will break his arm, patting himself on the back. Melly, hi! How are you doing? It's a new game. It's not even out for you yet. I think it comes out later today. It comes out today, but maybe later this afternoon. I got early access to it. I got given a code from GameToon, from their good media. And I'm really enjoying it. How you doing, Melly? Thank you for all the love and everything. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. Thank you for the contribution to my new mic as well. Really, really appreciate it. I missed you. Can I get back up here another way? Oh, I can. There we go. You have an older SpongeBob game. This is my first ever SpongeBob game. And you know what? I like it. I like it a lot. But like I said, I will say that this controller is janky as all fuck. So it might, I'm going to blame the controller. And I know that is like, it's like a gamer bro thing to do. But if it makes me jump hard and I don't want to jump hard, then it's the controller's fault and not my fault. I'm obviously a pro tier gamer. But this is not the kind of thing I normally play. Let's do it again. There we go. I normally play like, well, we've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley. Oh shit. No, it did it. Fucking hell. My language is going to be so colourful. Yeah, SpongeBob, we play Stardew Valley, we play... I'm going to be starting a brand new Sims 100 Baby save soon when they give us our new update. Some Coral Island. We did some Lonesome Village, which was really fun. I really enjoyed Lonesome Village a lot. Oh, shit, I'm going to fall off of here. I can see it. There's all like hearts down there. Well, hearts, you know, like pants, health points down there. This is it. This is the bit that scares me. I can't do this bit. Oh, fucking... It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's fine. If I have to switch from controller and play on keyboard and mouse, don't tempt me, I will. Don't tempt me. If my controller was actually not janky, then I think it would be a lot easier. I'm gonna fall off of here, aren't I? I need to get over there. Up there. That's where I'm heading to. That's where my objective is. Okay. Stop double jumping. Stop it right this second. Oh god, that was close. That was close. I'm gonna just sit here for a second and breathe. Ah, hallelujah. Oh my god, I did it. Okay, up here, jump on the trampoline. Get you. Oh, there's a jellyfish here. Get rid of you. Oh, pants. Let me get that.
I'm feeling better already.
Yeah, some health. Nice. And then let's go here, get the cactus juice. Oop. No jellies. Get rid of them. And get these other ones as well. I'm not going to go that way just yet, though. I bet you could. Let's drain this cactus of its cactus juice. Aww. Reach the next cactus. Okay, which is over where? Oh, over there. Above the clouds. Oh, God. Okay. Let's pizza box our way through all of these. Oh, God, no. I ran out of health. Not health, but... You know? Jumping life, I guess. Go. Keep going. Yes. Oh, jumping things. So I haven't got to come all the way back up here again. Thank God for that. That's like a shortcut. Thank God for that. Is that the way I came? That's the way. That's the way I came? Yeah, I need to go this way. I think. Which way am I going? That way. Okay. Yoink. Got these. Okay, this way. Been lurking for a while, really bad couple of years. Getting better now. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you're getting better now. I've missed you. Right. Oh, can we go this way? Oh, shit. No, that's not what I wanted to do. No, stop it. This controller, that's what did that. Can I...
You don't live longer in the city. It just seems that way.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. That was like seesaw. And this is the same, right? So... Whee! Nice. And then this reminds me definitely of Crash Bandicoot. Can I get these? Can I get them? Can I get them? I want to be able to get these on top. I don't think I can. I'm not tall enough. I can't jump high enough. Whoa. I did it. Okay. I can't get that because I'm not low on health. I can get that though. Oh. No. Yeah, nothing personal, no. Not one of these again. Oi. There we go. Can I hit you? Oh, I didn't actually need to trap him in the bubble. I could just hit him anyway. I think something is over there. You're right. Let's go. Run. can't see where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going. I can't see where I'm going. I am screwed. Where am I going? Where am I going? Oh, not you again. Where's he brought me back to? Oh, only here. Oh, okay, fair enough. I think we're closer than we were when I fell. Can I get that life? Yes.
No more chafing.
Up here and okay, walk across and don't fall because we're above the clouds and it's really high. I'm really scared. Ooh. Oh my god. What the heck is that? They're wearing pants. It's a boss, it's a boss, it's a boss. It's a boss. Right, can hit you. Can I hit you? Oh, I got another achievement. Wait. Can I attack you with my bubbles? I don't think I can. What? Can I hit it? I can. I can hit you. Knock you out of the thing there. Get that. Oh, stop it. It's doing it again. It's doing it again. Right, get this. Oh, can I come to here? Is it this side? What? Reach the next cactus. I'm here. I'm here. Hi, Ninja. How you doing? Good to see you. Why wouldn't it let me drain the next cactus? Is there another bad guy I need to kill somewhere? Is there another bad guy I need to kill somewhere? Is it glitched? Is it because it's not letting me like leave this area? I think it might be glitched. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. I see it, I got it. There we go. Can you also get a yeehaw? Yeah. There it is. You get ready for work? Nice. Have a good, wonderful day.
That guy who looks kind of familiar.
Yeah, to the familiar stranger who I don't know where we've seen him before. Interesting.
Ooh, more jelly.
Can we? Yeah, that was a long way down. Checkpoint. Where is he? Where is Mr. Krabs? I mean the bandit.
You got a knack for reaching them cacti. Just drop the juice in this here barrel for
safekeeping. I don't trust you, Mr. Krabs. But you know, we have to for the game purposes. How do I?
Did you drop the money?
The money
in the barrel yet?
I tried to, but I don't know how to. I don't know how to do that. It's not giving me a button to press. I don't know how to. Oh, now it's doing it. Oh, I do it from the bottom. I was trying to do it from the top. That's why.
Follow that trail, my little sap.
What little trail? Ooh. So yeah, I don't know what time of day this game actually releases for a lot of people. Is anybody free to check it? Is anyone free? If I just do this a sec, hold on. If I come out of my game, if I click on that, does it say when it's ready? Because obviously I already have it, so I don't know if it would tell me on mine. It says release date 31st of Jan. It's already in my library. Can I go to this? This is the store page. Is this the store page? This is the store page for it, isn't it? A game. Aha, here we go. The game plans to unlock in approximately 5 hours. So what time will that be? About 5 p.m. tonight? 6 p.m. maybe? But you can wishlist it anyway. You can absolutely wishlist it if you want to. If you enjoy what you see here. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Back to the game. Right, we need to... What trail are we going to down there? Collect more cactus juices? Oh my god, can I get on this horse? I can. Let's ride the seahorse. That I now have a license to ride because I'm good. I'm ready. Woo. Okay. Do I need to... Checkpoint! That wasn't too bad. Can I jump on here? Oh, I can. And use the seesaw to get across. Get my... Oh, I can't get that life. Oh, I can talk to the cowboy now.
Better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
Most things are. Yeah. That's, I would agree. Most things are better than a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. Oy. No, jellyfish. I still don't know what it's like if you hit those whilst they're electrified, but from experience with games like Zelda, when you hit the choo-choo jellies and they're electrified, you get a shock. So I'm going to avoid them if I can. Right, this way. On the seesaw. On the seesaw here. And jellyfish. Gotcha. But with these blue things. Oh, hang on. These things are always really tricky for me, so bear with me a second while I just try. Nope, that's not gonna work. Oh, shit. Nope, this is gonna take me a minute. Unless I can just go that way. Can I just go that way? Let me see. Woo! Yes, I can. Oh, there's bad guys over there. Jelly bandits? Gotcha. Hey, got him. Oh, can I hit that? Is that a bulb ball? Is it gonna... Do I have like a limited time?
You really are my best friend.
I was gonna say, do I have a limited time on it before it deflates? But then my controller decided to make me hard jump. I didn't want to do that. Right. Oh no. Is this where we were? Oh, I can go that way. That's quicker, I guess. But I suck at those, so... Look, can I just try? Can I just give it a try? Can I just give it a little bit of a try? Up here, and then... I can't see because the camera goes out the way. Right. Parkour. Parkour. No, I fell. Can I go this way? And... this way. And then this way. Yeah, this is the longer way for sure, but... yeah. Get you. Hit you. Yep, got him. Got him. Where's the next cactus juice? There it is. I can't get that heart because I don't need it. Oh, can I go up here? Is that a checkpoint? Did it just checkpoint for me? Oh, what's this? That's locked. Oh, is it a locked area or something? That's pretty cool. Okay. Oh no, more bad guys. Oh no, another boss. Another boss. Stop. Jeez, I hate that. Stop squirting stuff at me. It's gross. Stop it. I don't like it. Ew. Stop it. If you wouldn't mind. I think if I got him yet, one more hit on you. Yeah, he's dead now. No, are there any more hiding like before? No, that's good. Let me get my heart.
No more chafing.
And drain this cactus. Some more star thing. Oh my god, that's quite a lot of star platforms I'm going to jump across. Please, controller, be kind to me now. Be kind, or we try and manage to get away across here. Nope. Nope. We're good. We're good. Yes. Can we do it? Awesome. Oh no, not another one of these. The battle arena. It's not too bad. I can manage it. I could do it. We got it. That's that one done. Oh no, not a big boss. Stop. Don't make me come up there. Don't make me come up there and sort you out, because I will. I know there's one chasing me. But I will get ya. There we are. No, just got the big boss. No, contend with. No, there's one over here as well. Come here. Get you. You're dead. You guys are dead. Is it like producing new ones? Might get you. Yeah, it is. I think that's what's happening. Until it's dead, it's going to keep producing new ones. Where did that one go? There it is. Get that life. And we're done. And then this will be our second one. 1 out of 2. So this will be our 2 out of 2. Hey. Oh my gosh. Are they spiky ball things? Like pufferfish or something? Oh my god, they are. Oh my god, they are. Can I fill this with cactus juice? There we go. Hey, Mr. Krabs! I mean, the crab bandit, whatever his name is. Red... What's it called? Red-handed bandit. Collect some more cactus juice? Seriously? It's... Oh, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Ready to talk to you? Okay. I will. I shall. We've got 1,200 jellies. No coins, though. I don't know where we get the coins from. Uh-oh. Checkpoint, yeah!
Ooh, more jelly.
Good to see. We're never going to go back all through that again. Right, I think... pretty much going to try and avoid these spiky fish ball things. Sounds like a plan. Oh my gosh. I think they seem to be landing in exactly the same place. Just avoid standing there, pretty much. Get that. Get that. There we go. Can I get these? Stop. There we are. Now it's this way. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, you. Where did you come from? Oi. Get these. Oh god. Oh no. That's not what I needed to do. That is not what I wanted to do at all. Go. Quick. No. Stop pressing the button for me. My controller wants me to die in this game. There you go. Thank you. Give me some life. Okay. Go. No. That was my fault. That was me. Okay. Look at me go. Oh, Patrick's giving me like a little... Oh, I got hit by the spiky ball thing. Well, that's not good. Do we need to fight that bad guy boss again? We do. Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me just get these jellies first. Let me just get these jellies. Oh, I said let me get the jellies first. Will you come and start trying to fight me? Okay. Okay, you can go. I know, rude, right? I was just trying to collect the jellies and they started to try and fight me. Okay. Get rid of you. You have got like 1 heart left. That I have full life now, so I'm good. Oh, avoid that spiky fish though. Okay, let's go. Let's go. No, don't. Not what I wanted to do. That's... Oh shit! No. The thing was that the spiky fish doing that, and then the jelly thing knocked me off the edge. So rude. So very rude. Right, do this bit again. Hold on. Checkpoint. Restart. That was pretty good, all in one go. Yeah, got you this time. You didn't come and get me. I beat ya. Okay, you can go. You... Oh. Get rid of it. Look at the rainbows. It's so cute. Right, that one's gone. You're dead. I already have full life, so don't need that particular set of pants right now. I'm good. I have clean undies. Right, is there one coming down there? I don't know if there's like a pattern I need to use to avoid getting hit. That's done it. I'm across. Okay, good. You can go across there. Can I just hit this now? Yes. How many more do I need to do? Another 2. Okay. Here we are. Take me up. And... Ooh. Let's get that one before it goes. I need to go that way, but... What does this say?
Another old sign.
Another old sign?
Mine closed. Bullworm activity.
My enclosed bullworm activity.
Must be pretty busy to make such big holes.
Maybe we should keep moving, Patrick.
Uh-oh. Like holes, right? Can I get here? I definitely feel like these blue head things are some sort of shortcut if I can actually get on them anytime. Then they're like a way around, but I don't know, maybe not in that case. Oh, that's gonna hit there. Okay, so at least I can see where it hits and just avoid. Go. Go, 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 go. Okay, it's gonna hit on the edge there. And then go.
Who knew the desert was such a hazardous environment?
And I don't need to be there because I've got good health. That is gonna hit right in the middle. No, go, 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 go. Ooh, that was close, that was close, that was close. Okay, I've got you all. I've got you, I've got you.
Sticky sweet.
I'm good. Now, is that good? Can I get this? I can. I don't need to fight a big boss on this one. We're getting through them quite quickly. Now, this way. Up we go. I don't need that health, which is nice. Oh, God. Okay, there's another one I've got to avoid being hit on. Go now. Go, 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 go. Okay, we're good. Get rid of these. And then, oh my God. Is that going to hit there? Does it hit on that? It does. Go quick. And then it hits there. Okay, now run. Avoid these. At least it shows you like a pattern where it's going to hit, right? Like there. Okay, go. Go, 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 go. Shh. Oof, that was close.
Is it just me, or is everything in this place trying to hurt us?
It is! It is, SpongeBob. Everything's trying to hurt us. Absolutely agree. Can I do this? No, this is our last one. For now. Until it tells me to get another one. Where's the barrel? Is the barrel nearby or is it up top? Is it all the way over there? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, so that's going to fall down and hit there. Jump all the way across. Nope. Oof, that was close. Ugh. Get you. It is dangerous. They should put up a sign. They should. Dangerous place. Avoid if all possible. Move out the way of that one. I don't need the health, which again is good. Avoid that. Are we going in the right direction? We are. I pull the way across. Oh, okay, okay. Here we are. Another little boss encounter sort of thing. Oof. Ooh. Okay, got you in a bubble. Got you in a bubble. Avoid, avoid, avoid. Can I keep hitting you because you keep throwing new bad guys at me? 2 more not bots. Cool. Thanks, Simon. They are. I've seen people talking about them. I don't know where they're coming from or what their intentions are. Messenger, hi! Yeah, this is a new SpongeBob game. It comes out in about 5 hours' time. I had early access. Hi! Let me get that health. Is it clearing? Is it? Oh no, there's one over here. Shooting suspect. Hey, I got another achievement. Sweet. I've never played another SpongeBob game in my life before, but after playing this one, I might go seek them out because this is fun. This is very fun. Uh-oh. Oh no, I fall.
Patrick, I think we've fallen down some kind of large...
Welcome back, Lena. Hi.
That means it was probably made by a ferocious, terrifying creature.
like a goose. Yeah. If anybody was interested in wishlisting the game, by the way, that is the store page for it on Steam. It's going to be $34.99, I think. In pounds. If you want to go wishlist it, it comes out, like I said, in about 5 hours or so. roughly. Yeah, I got given anybody who was listening to me my stream the other week, and I was like, I nearly streamed a game that was not was still under embargo, was not allowed to be streamed yet. It was this game. This is the one that I very nearly streamed before the embargo. You're just gonna ask, yeah, this is the game that I very nearly streamed outside of embargo. So, the criminal. I was gonna play it last Thursday, remember? Oh shit. Oh no, something shook. Something shook. No. No. That's okay, Simon. My mods are very, very capable of doing their job, so don't you worry about it. Don't worry about it. Oh shit. Yeah, we have mods. We do. Oh no. Oh no. We do. We do indeed. My mods are amazing. They're wonderful, mod team.
It's so dark.
Oh, hey, checkpoint. Nice. A checkpoint. Okay. A stretch. Thank you. I don't have a model of command. I should have one, shouldn't I? We do, in fact, have mods. See, there's Angel. There's Angel. Dev was here. Dev wanted to get a drink. Catherine had to go to sleep. She was absolutely fallen asleep.
Oh. What brings you to this whole place? If you're after gold, get lost. It's all mine.
Mine, as in the mine.
We really need to get back to the surface, Mr. Miner, sir. Our friend depends on it.
Well, I could let you use my elevator, but what's in it for me?
I don't know.
Anything you want. There's nothing that this amazing duo can't get.
Good. That darn Alaskan bullworm is obsessed with
Oh
my
no.
gold.
Don't make us fight the bullworm.
Tooth out. If you can get my tooth, I can get you up to the surface.
We're gonna find his gold tooth somewhere. Okay. Well, there's gonna be an ad. Yeah, you're back. No worries, Dev. There's gonna be an ad in about 2 minutes. You go on an IKEA trip, so you need to get ready for it. No worries. IKEA sounds fun. I haven't been to IKEA in ages. Checkpoint, sweet. Let's go. Yeah, there's gonna be an ad in about 1:45. There'll be 3 minutes of ads, 1.5 run by Twitch, 1.5 run by me. That'll keep us ad free then for another hour, which will take us roughly to the end of stream. Yeah, so I'll take a BRB whilst those ads are on. I'll go and take a break, go pee, and stretch my shoulder out so you won't miss anything. But yeah, that's a little way away just yet.
If I was a tooth on the loose in the midst of a giant worm, where would I be?
Not in the center of the big massive dace up here. Oh god. Oh god.
Ew, it
Oh
smells like
no.
Gary's litter box in
Oh
here.
no. It's like it's the T-Rex. The T-Rex in Jurassic Park. Oh god. Do I need to... Can I get rid of these things? Oh, I can. I can break these things open. Okay. Is there going to be a gold tooth inside one of them? There it is. I found the gold tooth. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. I knew there was going to be some kind of like attack, but even then, even though I was ready for it, I wasn't ready for it. Oh, no. You know, something's going to attack me. Something's going to attack me. Okay, can I hit you? Stop. Stop it. I hate it. Stop throwing those horrible liquid at me. It's gross. It's gross. You? Okay, it's up there, isn't it? I can see him. The main bad guy thing, I think, is up on top. Can I get it? Oh man, my health is not great. I'm like half health at the minute. Can I kill you? Because you're the one who keeps bringing out new bad guys at me. Please. Please. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Cease. Hey, heart, nice. Well, a heart, it's pants. Can I get up here like this? Oh, I can. Okay, nice. You need to be dead. Thank you very much. This is what I was saying. Like, this is fine. I can do this combat. I can do it. My health is not great. A sentiment that I can share. Oh, a woozy reaction. Oh no, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Okay, so back to the checkpoint. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, you're dead. Oh, excuse me. Let me get rid of this, guys. Oh, I got another award. Hey. There are so many achievements. I think there's like 44 achievements or something. Oh god, I nearly got hit by the slimy stuff. I need that heart. I need it. I need to start dodging stuff because I am not very good at dodging stuff. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Patrick. Can I get rid of you? Thank you. Where are these guys coming from? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Patrick, please, if you don't mind, can I get some pants, please? I swear this game, along with Hi-Fi Rush, are easily the best games that you've got in January. I've even played those two. Ooh. You suck at dodging? Yeah, same. Like, I usually go in all guns blazing in any kind of combat, which is probably not the best strategy, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine, okay? It's fine. Right, I was gonna go and take a break, wasn't I? The first lot of ads is already nearly over, and I haven't taken a break yet because I am not a very good role model when it comes to taking breaks. Oh shit! Oh shit! 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 Take a break. Med check. Yeah. Give me a sec just to kill this boss here, and then I will take a break. Because also I need to pause. Pause it. Pause it. I need to go and pee. And also I need to run my second lot of ads as well. You got really into escape puzzles? Second lot of ads is about to be run. I'm going to go and pee quickly, and then we'll come back down and finish this boss fight. I'll see you in a sec. There you go. BRB. Hey, I'm back. I literally sat back down in my chair as 1 second on the ad was remaining. Let me do that one. Oh. What happened? Was that an accidental click? Okay, let's go. Let's go.
No more chafing.
Right. I tried to click on an arrow and timeout. Oh no, no problem, no problem. Timeout should be removed. If for some reason the timeout has not been removed on you and you still can't chat, just hit refresh, and it usually helps to remove it. I've had that before. Right, here we go. Got you. Right, the two. Oh, is there some more pants? Nice. Is there some more down here? Yeah. Some more bad guys down here, but they're just little ones. And I can still hear that, like, tremor. The impact tremor is still happening, and I'm slightly worried, so I'm gonna say. I'm concerned. You also tried to click first instead of dino, which is why you tried to click the back arrow. Oh, right. Can I hit this? I don't know what this is a symbol for. I don't know what that's for. Oh no, touchpads are difficult anyway. Where do I need to be? My objective's up there. Okay, well, there are big, bouncy, trampoline-y things over here. So I can get that way. All the way back up again. Fantastic. Okay, checkpoint. Sweet. Oh yeah, I need to return the tooth, didn't I? That's what I was gonna do.
Nugget, you'd be worm food by now. But
hey.
since it's arrived, Did you find my tooth?
I did. This is Fall Guys confirmed.
Snails leave slime in the woods? Of course!
Whatever you
Snails
say.
leave slime in the
Little bit of
woods,
all
what?
yours, boys. Oh, and I don't know what you did down there, but it left a powerful stink on you.
Uh-oh.
All right, let's take that elevator.
You're gonna head out? No worries, Pink, no worries. Thank you so much. I'll see you again soon. We're back on Thursday. Probably with more Stardew Thursday, I would say. More than likely. You were timed out earlier somewhere by Stream Elements. By almost every message you were sending, and no one understood why. It was hilarious, apparently, putting in more than one question mark. Yeah, sometimes the mod settings on Stream Elements bot can be really, really high, and it'll be like multiple symbols and it'll ban you, or like multiple capital letters and it can ban you. So yeah, I got timed out in a Sims live stream once for putting too many exclamation marks. You know when Island Living was announced and I was like, mermaids, and I did like 10 exclamation marks in a row and I got timed out for 10 minutes. And nobody removed it because they were like, you. Yes, we have seen student time out for a space before. You know how it shows you like, this is the reason it was timed out, and it like highlights it in red? It was a literal space between two words. Like, what the heck? Right, let me get you, and then where do we need to go? Take the elevator. The bot refused to send a sentence with the word hole in a few months ago. Yes, it did. You know, yeah, this is true. They don't actually have any human moderators in the Sims streams.
1 hour later.
Hey. Ah, dear. How could I? I was excited. I was Mermaid Out of Water 83 at the time. I was excited about there being mermaids in the game. I was excited.
A little dab will do ya.
It says I gotta follow the path, but the music sounds ominous. So I'm a bit scared. They are Sims, not humans, exactly. Hey, get on my my seahorse.
They're stealing our soda supplies.
Bandits!
Hurry up, Patrick. We got ourselves a train to catch.
Let's go. I love his little squeaky shoe sounds. Aww. At least he asks. Hi, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Hi, this game is cute. It is. Can I dash? Oh shit. Oh no, okay. Don't go that way, don't go that way. Well, come on in, Tony. I would give you the proper welcome, but I'm in a chase scene right now. This game is new. I don't know if it is on Switch. It hasn't even released on Steam yet. It's releasing on Steam in a couple of hours. So I got early access to it. Oh, sugar. That's what I'm gonna say. Oh my gosh. Can I go through the thing? Can I go through the thing? I'm nearly caught up. No, don't you dare. Mr. Krabs, why? Oh, I'm supposed to jump over those things? Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know I was supposed to jump over them. Here we go. Go. Jump. Hey. Cactus juice. If I pause it 1 second. If I pause it. Oh, heck, thank you for the sub on YouTube. Thank you very much. This is the link to the Steam webpage, because I don't know if it's on Switch. I genuinely don't know. But that's if you want to go and wishlist it over there. Then you can keep an eye. Used to host and chat. Yeah, I did. But since Twitch got rid of the hosting ability, I can't do that, and it sucks. Yeah. Else, I would absolutely do that. Okay. Oh my god. There's more jelly bandits down here. Jelly bandits. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, no, not these, because they spit that white stuff at me. I don't like it. Oh, no. It's crabs. Yeah, we're posting, right? Because I wouldn't be allowed. I'm 100% sure I wouldn't be allowed to co-stream it. They would definitely DMCA me for that. 100%. but I wouldn't be able to that time of day anyway, because it's going to be the live at 5 p.m. our time. And yeah, I'm going to be cooking my dinner around that time, so I won't be able to. Oh my god, it's going to fall. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. I am pro gamer. I never play platformers on stream. Hey, Yufei, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh, don't you dare. Don't you spit that crap at me. Don't you dare. I'm good, I'm good. We're doing alright, we're doing alright. Quietly confident. Oh, hang on. Seesaw, seesaw. There we go. Ooh. I can absolutely do physics in games. I'm getting better at this, right? You're available to do the streaming Discord. Anyone's welcome to. Oh yeah, absolutely. So if anybody does want to stream it, like one of the mods, if you want to stream it to Discord, you can do, and we can hang out. Oh crap! But like I said, I will be probably in and out while I cook tea and all that kind of stuff. Remind you of Kirby. You know, I have never played Kirby. Never. Considering I would call myself like a Nintendo kid, I've never played it. Mr. Krabs, yeah, Mr. Krabs is the bad guy. For some reason, he doesn't remember who he is, and oh crap. My controller's being weird again. My controller's being weird again. Move his laptop. Okay, no worries. That should... like, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, but my controller is second-hand PlayStation controller, and it sometimes the left trigger like catches and sticks, so it's making me do that like double jump thing, the power poundy thingy bob. Oh god, oh, go away, go away, go away. There we go. And the good thing about this game is as well that I noticed it's got some nice accessibility features. It's got, you can turn off, you can turn on color blindness settings as well, which is nice. You can have different sizes on the subtitles, which is also pretty nice. Oh crap, no. Oh, I nearly died. I didn't though. I'm good. I'm good. Yay. Come on. Oh, shh. You have a not actually Xbox controller? I do have an actual Xbox controller, but it's old and it doesn't seem to want to work and connect to my PC. And I did think about getting myself a new Xbox controller, because obviously Xbox works with PC games better, because it's Microsoft in it. But they're so damn expensive. You just checked, and it is on Switch. Oh, sweet. Thank you for checking that for me, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate that. So yeah, if anybody was looking to get it on Switch, apparently it will be out on Switch. I assume it's coming out at the same time, in like a few hours' time.
Sweet Davy Jones Locker, SpongeBob. I know you mean well,
Kirby in the Forgotten World. Oh yeah, I saw that. That came out at the end of last year, didn't it?
Like I was saying, SpongeBob, you gotta take me back. I beg you. This old soft shell won't last a day in jail.
Well, you shouldn't do the naughty things then, should you?
I'm taking this one in.
They're more common in games. Yeah, I like putting an Xbox controller on my throne. I might do, you know. Did you see the new dinosaur light that I put on my throne? I've got to thank Xana for that, or blame Xana, whichever way you want to look at it. So Xana put this really, really cute, like, flat duck light on her throne. And while she was looking for it, I'd found this really Angie boy cute dinosaur light, and she was like, that's Jen. That reminds me of Jen. So she sent me the link and I put it on my throne. It's so cute. Hey, Jeff, welcome back.
That it's not all about money?
What?
No,
No.
Krabs isn't going to say it's all about money, is
It's
it?
about money. I did learn that I can't put a price on me employee of the month.
Also, tomorrow you get your blue hair. I want to see pictures. I need to see pictures, you pay. Blue hair looks amazing.
Mr. Krabs. We'll find Pearl and the Krusty Krab and bring them back on the
Oh, Pearl. Did Pearl go missing as well?
Now,
Oh, I completely forgot about Pearl.
I'm sure you can get around a little faster now with those new riding skills of yours.
We can. We can ride on the
There are still a lot
seahorses.
of friends to bring back home, Patrick. Let's ride.
Yeah. Did we just complete the first level? The map allows you to travel back to any checkpoint reached in the Wishing World. It can be accessed at any time from the pause menu. Go to the map to revisit worlds, complete side quests, and find golden doubloons. Boss fights can be replayed from the map once you've completed the story. Hey! Pros, honestly, gotta check it out.
Where else we can find our friends?
Catch Mr. Krabs, we did. Talk to Cassandra. We got another award. Hey! I'm gonna look in here and see what I got. So we got this one here. Complete all the main missions in the Wild West jellyfish fields. Hey! These are like... Did we get this one? No, but we got this one. Push 50 enemies with the Jelly Maker Raw. And we got bubble 10 tartar jellies that are currently engaged in an attack. We got bubble an enemy that hasn't detected SpongeBob yet. You found super glue, so you finished your earrings? Hey, that's cool. Defeat 50 enemies without taking any damage inflicted by them. We've got so many. Is that a platinum trophy right there? Yeah, like these are the trophies as if it was on like a PlayStation game, right? Oh, here we are. Here's the world map. So these are locked. But this is the one we've just come from. Hey, so then we need to go back over here again. And then here's our costume shop. We haven't got any more costumes. We're going to have to get a new costume to go into another world, aren't we? Hey, Cassandra, how are we doing?
I need your help. Sheldon's pride would never allow him to ask, but your mischief tipped over the chum bucket, and we need you to stand it back up.
I forgot that Plankton's first name is Sheldon.
We already built a meticulously calculated rig, but Sheldon didn't account for his own slight stature.
Oh, he's teeny tiny.
Excuse me. There are more important things than knocked over trash cans.
It's not a trash can, it's a bucket. Not to flex, but you didn't get glue on your fingers this time? Nice. Super glue on your fingers is the worst feeling ever, isn't it? I hate it. It's horrible.
It's not a trash can. It's a bucket.
Thank you, Karen.
It's Bikini Bottom's sole restaurant.
It's not, no.
I know everyone would love to be eating out of a bucket right now, but
Gary is the best. Absolutely, Gary is the best.
Hanging in the balance.
My daughter has a little cuddly plushie of Gary that we got from the SpongeBob Squarepants world in Universal Studios. Loves it. Embarrassing first name for a villain who is 1% and 1% evil and 99% hot gas. Yeah.
No, Biggie. I'm sure the universe can hang in there until we've helped a friend in need.
Yeah. The universe can wait for us. We need to go and help Sheldon Plankton. Where is Plankton? Actually, he is. Oh, here he is. Oh, here's the chum bucket. Oh, I didn't even see it there. How you doing, Sheldon?
Why this doesn't work? My calculations are flawless.
It's because you're tiny.
We can help.
I don't need your help, but if you want to make up for this whole mess, I guess I would allow you to assist me.
Thank you. Super glue was originally for wounds. I think that's correct. Yeah, I think it was for like sticking skin together when you'd cut yourself open. So that's why it's really good at sticking fingers together. Yeah. Or when you just get a little bit on your finger and it's like, it feels horrible. There still is medical super glue. Next, you should make a badge that says Master Crafter, no glue on these fingies. Yeah. Hey, Taya, hi. Happy lunch break. How you doing?
Use this super velocitous momentum enhancer that I invented to get the job done.
Okay.
Ooh, is that a bubble surfboard?
Yes, please let it be a bubble surfboard.
Yes, but I gave it a fancy name, so I get the credit.
This is really fun. I'm good. Yay, thank you. Yeah, I got given a code for this game so I could play it a bit early, and it's really fun. Use the bubble surfboard to reach the button. Where is the bubble surfboard? Question for chat and Jenny. Could you see me as a VTuber? I couldn't see me as a VTuber, I'll be honest. You've never seen SpongeBob? I love SpongeBob. How to bubble surf. Okay, press A. And That's it. That's it. Lena, you stop it right there. What are you doing? No, thank you so much. Thank you for 3 months to you pay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are you doing? A VTuber is, it stands for like virtual YouTuber. And it's when people have like animated rigs of themselves, or not themselves, but just like animated characters as instead of themselves, instead of having a camera on. You can have like PNG tubers as well, which is where it's not like a animated, it's just a still picture that like moves its face occasionally. Those are VTubers, and I've never really, it's never been something that I've been wanting to do. I like having myself on the camera. Right, can I, whoa. Okay, I'm gonna need a little bit of practice on that. An avatar, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Oh, don't do this. Don't do that, thank you. I need, I need to hold down the A button. Oh, no, I did it wrong. You see that, especially with the colour of your hair? Do you really? Yeah. I guess so. Where's the box? How do I get back up to the thing again? Oh, it's over here. Where am I going? I can't see. Otter, hello! Is that a live mermaid out of water? It is indeed. How you doing? You're gonna head to IKEA now. No worries, Dev. Enjoy IKEA. I hope you get some fun things. Oh, this is complicated. What am I meant to do here? Mastercraft and not Master Brain. You have to cancel your message. You stuck your finger in the glue to test. You're like, did I really not glue myself? Let me just check. Stick my finger in the glue. No, stop it. Stop it, controller. Stop it now. No! This damn controller, I swear to God. You're just chilling with a mini one eating lunches? Yeah. So yeah, again, I'm not trying to be like a gamer bro and blame my controller, but this is a second-hand controller and the trigger sticks. So when it does that thing and it like jumps down, that's because this is sticking. This is a damn controller. I'm pro gamer, not me. Yeah, not me. Oh. It does. If ever I play Fall Guys on stream again, you'll see how it like clicks the name thing. Oh no, I popped it. I popped it on the thing. Okay, that was me. That one I will admit, that was me. I didn't know it would pop. I mean, I know it's a bubble, but you know, get a new one. Yeah, I can't afford a new controller. Controller's expensive, man.
I'm ready to hang 10.
Yeah, don't. Are you kidding me? I was right there. I was right there. This one was secondhand and it was still like 25 quid. Put it on throne. I will later. I'm gonna put it on throne now. You never use controllers, so when you do, the by the time you struggle. I don't normally use controllers. I am very much a keyboard and mouse gamer, but I feel like this game would be harder with keyboard and mouse. A lot harder. Pro streamer, so I have no excuse. Yeah, right. You never grew up with them? Oh yeah, I did, Sarah. I was much more of a controller console gamer growing up than I was a PC gamer. You don't play Zelda and pick up apples, and you end up hitting the air because Y is attack. Oh yeah, but sometimes you can remap the buttons on your controllers in the settings. Not always, depends on the game, but sometimes you can remap them if it's been an issue for you.
Technically, yes. We citizens of Bikini Bottom must stand together in these trying times.
Yes, we should.
Let it be known that the Chum Bucket will humbly accept its role as the town's sole source of sustenance.
Well, you're not going to help me try and find the Krusty Krab then?
Plankton, I always suspected that deep down you were a contributing member of society.
You're way too low on brain power to figure that out. Yeah.
Don't worry. Patrick and I won't stop until we put everything back to normal, so no one has to eat at the chum bucket ever again.
He's so pure, bless him.
Was that last part really necessary?
Yes, it was, because you were being mean. Right, let's go back to the Cassandra, the mermaid. Cassandra.
Oh my, yes. So much pure, unadulterated jelly, so much raw power. To create your next costume. You should find it very familiar, but don't let appearances fool you.
Ma'am?
When you step through the next portal.
Ooh, what you gonna give us? Oh! What is this?
Ooh, my karate gear.
It's karate stuff.
I own.
So what's the next thing gonna be then? What's the next portal gonna be?
We'll be much faster with these seahorses.
Yes, it will. Find the next portal, okay? Woo!
Kind of look like something Squidward would
Don't go that way, okay?
I think he called them. What was the word?
Oh, hang on. Is this the place? Oh, this is the place.
Don't give up hope. SpongeBob
That was easy.
are on their way.
That was very easy. Okay, this is it? Travel to the new world? What? Oh, hang on, I didn't press it down long enough, did I? There we go. Off we go. So we were dressed in a cowboy outfit and we went to like a Wild West place. And now we're in a karate outfit, so where are we gonna go? Oh, that was a limo.
Now I know why they call them stretch limos. You gotta stretch first.
Ooh, follow the red carpet, okay. It's Pearl!
You admit, totally would have expected someone bigger for the part. But
Oh.
everyone seems small to me.
Yeah, because you're a whale.
Sorry, am I oversharing? It's my first day, and I'm
Aw.
so nervous.
Is that Squidward on the wall behind her? Just do it.
Speaking, the director's assistants only last 0.87 days before they're let go.
Uh-oh.
Chop chop, this way. He isn't the patient kind, or the
Who is
understanding
the...
kind, or the kind
Is the
kind.
director Squidward, do you reckon? Is the director going to be Squidward because of his art?
I can't believe this is the
Follow the red carpet, there we go. Can I jump over it? Yeah. Can I... I can't... They won't let me go past? Oh, well, I need to go this way then, I guess. I'm gonna go around. Ooh. Whoa, that one blows up. Okay, so that does remind me a lot of Crash Bandicoot, you know, with the nitro blocks and stuff. Squidward, your beloved. But I'm gonna sneak around the back then. Oh, there's a trampoline. How convenient. Okay, we're going this way. Oh, there's Pearlie. How did she get ahead of me?
Hey, Mr. What are you still doing here?
How did you get
Please
ahead
go
of
to
me?
the exit or I will get fired. The director is waiting for you.
It is kind of shoddy. Yeah, I agree.
How did you get here so fast?
She must have cut the line, Patrick.
Like we did.
Lucky.
Find the director. It's gotta be Squidward. It's gotta be, right?
Sticky sweet.
It's almost like they want you to keep going. Almost. Oh, we can jump on top of these. Oh my god, that's a big boss guy. We're gonna have to fight him?
Oh boy, that is
Ooh.
one big heavy jelly.
That's what I said.
You'll be fine.
Okay, let me get these. Some schmancy and yeah, I got some nice pasties on. Like I can't see what I'm doing. I'm trying to just break these. That's it. There we go. That's all I was trying to do. Look, it's Handsome Squidward. Handsome Squidward, yay! Can I jump up on top of the roof of here? Oops. Oh shit! Now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck. There we go. I want to go. Whee! Over here, and then. Oh god, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow, it's gonna blow. There we go, got it. Wearing a director's hat, nice catch. Yeah. But they're like, this is a kid-friendly game, we can't have nipples. I don't know. Or were they also like, this is a jelly monster. I don't know if they have mammalian glands. You know? Maybe they don't have mammary glands, I don't know. Okay. Yep, they have nippular regions. Oh shit. shoot. Okay, okay. I'm gonna get these. I like how we still have that dirty pizza box to help us fly across things. Hi Jeffy. How you doing? How are you today? They don't think they do, but also they don't bench lift bathtubs. So what do you know? This is very true. This is very true. Jelly blobs probably don't have mammary glands, but they also don't bench lift bathtubs. So what do you know? I'm good. Yeah. I was shopping on Love Honey yesterday because I managed to find a discount code for 25% off. Combined it with some of the stuff that was already 50% off and managed to get everything for over half price. Like less, like, you know what I mean? Like less than half price. Over half off. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Love that for me. Good times. What? Stop it! Don't tell me this is a kid-friendly game when they're like scooting. Look at this. Look, what is that? What is that they're squirting at me? Because it's gross. I don't want it. I don't want it, sir. Please no.
We need to find a way to open this door.
Oh, can we not get in the door?
It's in that cage next to that guy.
Oh,
what cage next to the guy?
Looking at us?
It is very sus. Also, look at my health. I only have like no hearts left. Not supposed to question these things though. Am I not? Am I not supposed to question it? Oh god, oh my 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 god. Okay. Oh my god, oh my god. Don't attack me. Also, can I jump on this and do that? No, it won't let me. Oh, do I have to get him to like accidentally hit it? Like this? Oh, almost. Yes! Oh no, it killed me. It killed me. Was that what I was supposed to do? I don't know. It felt like that was what I was supposed to do. Let's go back. You know, if I couldn't hit it myself, I had to try and get someone else strong boy to hit it for me. Come on, over here. Smack the button. Oh my god. Oh, that's what you do. Maybe, I don't know. You don't seem to be tired out though. I can't hit you. Ugh. Okay, can I not? How can't I hit it? Did I hit him? Is he taking any damage at all? Oh, I think he did. There we go. Yes, he did take a damage. Okay, so I need to wait for him to like be tired out or something. Come on. Oh, jeez, that hit me. No. Keep running him in circles. Yes, there we are. Sorted. Done. Now can I do this? Oh, press the button. Press the right button. How do I press the... what? There we go. A few months ago, trying to not get hit by snowballs. Yeah, like, ooh, don't hit me. Okay, I can get out of here. The door is open. Sweet. Oh my god. Oh no, there's bad guys around. No, there's shooting at me again. Stop it. Checkpoint. Sweet. Hey! Thank you for the hydrate and the stretch modding.
The director is Squidward?
The director is Squidward. Well, we did wish for him to have his art appreciated, didn't we? You know, when we were doing the bubble blowing and stuff? That's what we were wishing for. There we are. Oh, head pat's nice. Well done. Well done. You're handsome, boy. So handsome. Squidward's so handsome. Hey. How you doing?
Squirt of an actor did those at the agency lay upon me. I promised them art.
Was that a swear? The dolphin noises is a swear? Oh my gosh.
I demanded a hero, not a little yellow marshmallow. Did you shrink by spending too much time in a hot tub?
He's so mean.
Hi, Mr. Director, sir. I'm SpongeBob.
Filming starts in 9, 8, 7,
Can those uncultured casting urchins comprehend that I am allowing them to be part of what is sure to be the greatest film sensation ever to hit the sea?
Squid Van Hammerschmidt?
But don't lose heart. I still have the talent to turn you into a tool of destructive beauty.
Okay.
Goody!
Nice.
In the scene, you must fight your way through gang-infested city streets.
Oh no.
And don't walk out of frame.
I'll try not to.
And action!
Okay, so... Oh, it's a sideways platformer now. Okay. Sideways platformer. Oh, but it... Does it continuously move? So I have to move with it? That's what he meant by out of frame. Okay. Oh god. 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 Okay. We got these. Like, I don't want to go too fast. Okay. Don't run out of frame. Don't run out of frame. This isn't too... Okay. Oh god. Okay. Get him. Get him. No, not you. Not the white stuff again. Not the white stuff again. Please. It's not what I'm here for. Okay, now I can go again. Go this way. Oh, hot. Nice. Oh, no. I nearly went out of frame. Oh, no. Did I do that one? Thank you. Thank you, Lena. Thank you for adding that. Appreciate it. There's nothing better than an out of context quote, honestly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, not you again. Not you again. It doesn't hurt me when he blows me back like that, does it? It just knocks me back so I can't hit him again. Okay, let's go. Action! Don't get hit by the fish. Oh my god, don't go out of frame, don't go out of frame. Oh yeah, did you see like the edge of the screen went red because I got close to going out of frame? Ah, I see. So yeah, it is a matter of like staying in frame. And also, I'm not defeating everything that I'm coming across. Okay, oh no, not you again. Not you, I don't like them. Nope. No, you don't. No, you don't. Can I hit this? Can I? There we go. Hit you. Oh, no. It's horrible. Even the sound it makes is disgusting. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Got ya. Oh, no, not another one of these. Oh, shoot. Okay. Because I don't really have anywhere to run around. Okay, I got ya. Chase around. Oh, jeez. That hurt me. Now we'll get another one of these. Come on. That's it. And, oh no, it didn't stick. Oh no. Stick. Oh no, it's gonna be spinning. No, he's dizzy. Hit him while he's dizzy. Can I? Oh, I couldn't. Oh, he's stuck. Oh, I didn't have time. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, there he's stuck. Yeah, one more hit. Come on. One more hit. Oh no. Yes. One more hit, nice. You're gonna get to the grocery store? No worries, Otto. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you very much. Talk to Cassandra. Where is she? Oh. Hello?
Wow, what a beautiful bubble.
Ah, a mermaid. Michaela is good. She had her finger glued. We were just talking about gluing fingers. Tessa, what? What the heck? We were just saying about how super glue is used in medical situations. And she was a champ. Aww. I bet that hurt though, right? She needs like big cuddles.
You can't.
It is indestructible magic, thanks to the jelly you're collecting from my, our cause.
Cassandra, are you sure this is the right place to find Sandy?
I don't think it is.
The portal brought you right where you're supposed to be. Don't resist the jellyverse. Instead,
shan't.
take it, store it, and bring it to me. Besides, the jelly whispered that you've done some commercial work. Don't your Squarepants long to be in the spotlight once more?
Yes.
You're right. If it means
Famous.
saving Sandy and the world, then I'll just have to act my square heart out. Thanks,
You got a free
Cassandra.
teddy. Oh, that's a nice hospital. All right, it's saved. We have a checkpoint.
We're so lucky to have Cassandra helping us. What a selfless lady.
Yeah, I don't think she's the good guy, SpongeBob. I've got a feeling that she's a little bit of a bad guy, but I'm sure we'll find that out eventually. We've got so much of this. Is that, return to the director? Is that where we need to go? Through here? Is it that way? Can I get that way? How do I get up and over? Okay, here we are. Can I get up on top of this dumpster? I need to be up higher. Oh, can I get it on it from up here, maybe? No, I need to go this way. How can I get up higher? Is there a bouncy thing somewhere? Like a trampoline hidden away? Ugh. No, not one of you guys. Here we go. Here we are. Not a trampoline, but a platform. Did it give you a one for an adult just asking for a friend? Yeah. Do you think they might possibly just, if we ask nicely? Oh, can I not get over the fence? Oh, I might better get this way though. Ahaha! More platforms. You gonna have a good night? No worries, I'll see you Thursday, Simon. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been lovely having you here as always. Right, oh shit. Okay, no, stop it. I swear to God. Control yourself. I know, like, you might enjoy seeing me, but can you keep it in your pants, sir?
A little dabble do ya?
Hey, I did it.
I wanted to see a wimp run around. I'd be directing Wimp Racer 2, like my agent told me to.
Aww.
This is a karate film.
Karate.
But I guess I have to work with what I've got.
You see shopping in Sims 3 where you watch. Oh, you slept last night. Oh, that's good. A good sleep can make a world of difference, can't it? A good night's sleep can really, really change how you feel the next day. I'm so good. So good. That's so good. I'm so happy. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, a karate kick. How do I do that then? A-Y. Okay. A-Y. Like this? Oh, A-Y. There we go. A.
That you know how to embody a great hero of karate, I have prepared a little challenge for you.
Oh, no.
Across the roofs of the city.
It's roofs.
Now, kick down that door and get moving.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. No worries, sir.
I say we...
Anything you say, sir.
Things off.
What is this? I got a thing. I got a spatula? Was that a golden spatula? Right, let's go. Hey, straight down to the door. This way? I guess? I'm following the jellies. There? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, and then... Oh, you can press it double. Okay, nice. Good to know, good to know. Right there, the door. You need to be disposed of.
More jelly.
Yeah, I got loads of jelly. And then... Ooh. I didn't think I was going to make it all the way across, but I did. Whee. That was good. I did not intend for that to happen, but that was good. Parkour across the roofs. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at me go. Check that out. Did you see the parkour? Oh no. I pressed the Y button. Do I have to wait for it to float up? Okay, I needed to wait for it. That's fine. Wait. Oh god. No, stop it. Stop chasing me. Does I need to... It's the controller for sure. It is. Absolutely the controller for sure. Oh no! I didn't do it fast enough. Okay. No. That was too fast. I needed to get up higher. Okay. I got this. So... Hey, okay. I got this. Is that gonna come back down? And... There. Sweet! Just kicking everybody. Poor pro streamer with my poor controller skills. I really didn't make that, but I did just in time. What the heck is that? What?
These little ones look quick and hungry.
Yeah, we got that in common.
What the heck are they?
I think we'll need that part to get past them.
Oh, okay. Oi, I didn't see you sneaking up on me from behind. Oh god, they are quick. Jesus. Okay, get this one. There's another one over here. That thing is still squirting at me, which I don't like. Thank you. Oh god. Okay, you're dead. And you're dead. Jesus, yeah. Find the assistant. Oh, the assistant is Pearl, right? The assistant is Pearl. Hey, checkpoint. Get some of these. I noticed that I haven't been getting... Oh, is that ramen? That looks nice. I'm hungry. I was supposed to cook some pasta for myself so I could have it warmed up for lunch, but I didn't. So, I can't go too late today because I need to have time to cook myself some pasta.
Hey, short, yellow, and spongy.
I'm so hungry. I've got some vegan katsu chicken bites, and I was gonna have like them with some pasta and some salad. So.
There's a lot of paparazzi hiding on this set who wish to smear the director's reputation by capturing the fishy side of his process.
You have an electric pasta maker? Yum!
Which obviously doesn't exist. It would be real cool if you could distract them with some of your
Coral.
fancy moves.
I will make myself extra picturesque.
Sweet. Oh my god. What the heck? Oh no. What the heck was that? That was not handsome SpongeBob, no. Handsome SpongeBob, even not Squidward. Oh, there's one. There's one. Can I... Whoa. Oh, you. Oi! JJ! Get back in your stream. What am I doing? What am I doing? Your stream isn't on. Oh, are you streaming? Did it break? Your computer said no to Sims. Oh no. Aww. A. I don't know what buttons are because it's the Xbox controller. Oh, this is A. This is A. Oh, okay. Okay, it was the laggiest thing. Oh no! That sucks, especially because, like, what might be happening later. Keep going. Not good for speedrunning? Absolutely not, no. You want it to be as fast as possible for speedrunning. That's a bit flashy. There was a warning at the beginning of the stream about it being photosensitive and stuff, but that was very flashy. Oh no! Ooh. More of a speed walk than a speed run, eh? Right. Let's go over this way. Ooh, gonna come around here. Hi. I don't know where the other ones are. They're about somewhere, right? Oh, gonna get them. Right. Oh, here we go. If I jump across to here and then go across to this way. Where are you? You're down here. I gotcha. I see you. You. X. A. Watch the flashes. Watch the flashes. X. Watch the flashes. Okay. Now, there wasn't a remove the flashy setting in the accessibility. There was color blindness and there was something to do with the subtitles, but there wasn't a flashy remover. Okay. Do you think they could do the noises without the flashes? Yeah. Yeah. Like, I get... They have got some accessibility features, but not this one. Which is, not great for someone like me who has photosensitive epilepsy. So, yeah. It's a shame to trigger some people. Yeah, I have epilepsy myself, so... I completely understand it. Where's the next person? How do I get inside there? Oh, I can kick this door down. Or can I kick this door down? Or not from the outside? Only from the inside. So how do I get in there from the outside then? Can I jump over? No. Oh, can I go in this way? Even without epilepsy, bright flashing lights aren't fun. No, they are not. They are absolutely not.
Ooh, more jelly.
Hey, oh, I can go this way though. Is this the way where I'm trying to be? Yes, it is. Break it open. Okay, another paparazzi warning. Paparazzi warning. Paparazzi warning. Okay. And paparazzi warning. Like 1 or 2 have done the trick, not 8. Okay. That one's done. How many more have I got to find? 1 more. I don't like the game so far. I really like it. This is the only thing that's really put me off it is the flashy flashes. So far I'm really enjoying it. Right, where... Oh, the next one's at the top. Where are you? Where are you? All the way up there? Oh my god, how do I get up there then? Let me have a look around and see. Yeah, what the heck? So, is it THQ Nordic? If you could fix that, that would be great. Let's see, how do I get up there now? Oh, there's a kicky thing there. So can I go across? And then can I'd like to get onto there. Can I do that? No, it's too far. It was too far. How else can I get across that way? Can I parkour all the way across? Because I'm gonna have to end stream soon. Because it's getting close to 2. Oh, that's a big piece of jelly. If I could like parkour across from here. Let me see. Can I get on top of this thing at all? I don't think I can. I think it's too high. I can't go that way. I need to be up top here. So I got there before, didn't I? How did I get there before? Was it in here? Yes. Yes, it was. So I went up this... didn't go up the ramp. Oh, no. No. I can't go up the ramp. That's why I jumped up these boxes. Was up on the ledge. And then... I can't go that way, can I? Can I? No, because I went in before. Can I go this way? I don't know if I can. Oh, yes! Okay, oh shit, no. That was nearly right, but not quite right. How do I get up there? Fucking fuck. How do I get up there? Can I go this way around? How do I get up there? Can't see.
The Krusty Krab
No.
pizza
Can't.
is the pizza
There we go.
you and me.
Can I go this way? And then this way. Aha, here we go, here we go. That's it, there we are. Got it, got it, got it. Okay. Paparazzi warning again, everybody. Okay. You want some pizza? Oh, yeah, me too. Flashy flashes. Is that... Do I need to do it one more time? No, that's it. That's all of them. They're all done.
The security guard will let you pass now.
Hey. It is not good, is it? It's not great. Okay, meet the director in the hall. And then I need to find a save point or something because it's getting towards the end of stream. Is there going to be a checkpoint in here, maybe?
I guess some guy dealt with the paparazzi.
That'll be me.
Pass now.
Hey. Yeah, saving game. The game is saved. They were irritating, yeah.
That's it. A real Karate King has to prove cat-like reflexes. I
Ooh.
feel inspiration is about to strike.
I hope so.
I found craft services!
Those volunteers in the box
I want-
will help you
I
train
want those
your
donuts.
reflexes. When someone pretends to escape, whack them.
Won't that
Oh, like
hurt them?
whack-a-mole.
That's legally impossible. The contract
Legally
clearly states
impossible.
that they, quote, can't be harmed.
I guess that makes sense. But wait, Patrick didn't sign a contract.
What? Oh, fine.
Uh-oh, we're gonna
Don't
like
back
accidentally
when he
pop him. It's
appears.
just a
It'll
balloon.
help test your, concentration. Now, let's go. We're burning valuable spots.
We have to hit anything that's not Patrick.
And action.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Karate kick the crew? Oh, I hope I don't
Oops.
hurt 'em.
Okay, one, not him.
Well, okay. Making movies sure is a weird process.
Okay. Oh, hang on, no. And then you. And then you. No, not you, not you. That one. Aren't we all just a balloon with straws after all? Okay, you and you are good.
Bravo! You're not entirely useless as long as you keep moving.
Yeah,
Now head
I'm
back
good.
onto the streets. The next screen test is about to start.
Thank you. I need it to be like a checkpoint soon. I know it's been saving throughout. So I'm hoping that means that if I quit, I'm good because it saved it. I think I'm good. So I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna pause it there, I think. Can I go to here? Save game. It auto saves it. I'm going to create a new one anyway. That's my own created save rather than an auto save, which is great. And then I will quit. Let's go back over here. So what did everybody think? Oh, hang on. Let me just snooze the ad because it's going to start running in like 8 seconds and I didn't want it to. What did everybody think of the game then? I really enjoyed it. Apart from the flashing lights in that last little section, I actually really enjoyed that game. I thought it was really fun. And I definitely would like to play it again. I would. Maybe not on stream. We'll see. We'll see what everybody thinks. Let me put my background music back on again while we find someone to raid. There we go. I enjoyed it. I didn't know if I'd play it for the entire stream, but honestly, the time went really, really fast, which is always a good sign. So yeah, really, really enjoyed that one as well. Oh, I have I've been gifted a sub. Yay, nice. You've been lurking. No worries, no worries. Thank you everybody who's been lurking. I really appreciate it. Oh, is this person live? Oh, Lisa's live and she's playing some Sims. Should we go and say hi to Lisa? I was gonna go and raid Momo, but Momo's computer said no. As you could, yeah, me too. I'm glad that you came in. I've been seeing you a lot lately, and I. They'll start talking, Zeffy.